3 to 15 in Ireland, and I came back to the States, I am American. I just say ish from time to time, depending on the topic.
Kano, you're your own thing, brother.
I am. That's why I
love
drink.
you for it.
That's why you drink at 4 a.m. because of the Irish.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, this is breakfast.
to be honest, the bars just closed a half an hour ago.
Diddly-dee, potatoes. Doesn't matter.
What, you could take that potato and shove it right up your arse.
Right up your
Oh,
arse.
get
What's
the
fucking bothering you
fillet.
by Jesus Christ, the corner slap you upside the fucking head.
Hey, the old geek, please don't trick me into venting again this time.
You'll get
Hold on,
into venting
Rick.
again this time.
Wait, what did you? How did you trick him into ranting before there?
Well, the
Geek?
last time we were on together, I went on that massive drunken rant about certain people. Remember? And
Are you drunk again?
Well,
I'm working that way.
I don't think drinking has anything to do with Victor ranting.
Oh, no. I had Victor on the stream the other morning, and it was like really early, and he wasn't drinking yet. Dear God, he's dull sober.
No, I'm actually polite sober, and I let
No,
people speak.
he's
and I
not
don't
dull.
interrupt.
He's Dutch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, clogs, windmills, boring. I forgot. Yeah.
Something I did about Victor's cat earlier. Very, very wide eyes. Definitely Dutch.
No, like this hour.
Victor's
It's like
cat
the
looks
mix.
like a medieval painting of a cat, where they didn't quite know what cats looked like, really, but they kind of painted them that way. That's what it looks like. It's really cool.
Yeah.
My only question for Victor is there some never mind. It was better in my head.
Well, now you have to fucking ask it.
I know, right? No,
Say it, you bitch.
Yeah.
So, well, let's first of all ask the old geek how he's doing today. How you doing today?
Absolutely fine. Now that I've managed to have a shower. I was waiting. You haven't got teenage kids, have you?
I have no kids.
No.
I do.
I can't have kids, so
Yeah.
it's a sad tale.
Saturday morning in this house, it's like getting into the bathroom. It's like rush hour traffic. It's an absolute nightmare. But there's method in my madness. I normally have a bath because I'm too much of a boomer to be able to work our shower and get it warm. So if I wait until my kids have had a shower, they've got the settings right. So I can just stand there for about 5-10 minutes and bask in the lovely warm water cascading over my hairy fat body.
I was a bath guy in Germany because they actually make bathtubs that aren't like 3 inches. I hate American bathtubs. They're like 3 inches, or it looks deep, but they put the drain faucet like 2 inches above. Those German ones, man, I can sit in those things like up to my neck and read a book and.
Yeah,
You should use
I'm
your
a
dad's.
big guy, so I don't really fit in a normal bathtub. When I
Exactly.
changed my bathroom here, I got like a special
See,
bathtub.
an advantage to being
for my
average
car,
height.
you know?
5'9", bitches.
When I was in college, we had an
we had
apartment with a 6-foot bathtub with a sloping back in this one apartment. It was fucking heaven. It was like, oh my God, I can actually lie down in a bath.
Nice.
Oh,
See, I grew up with the freaking claw-footed, those old claw-footed bathtubs. They're like really deep with a slanted back. So I just I'd get in the bathtub with a book.
I am slightly jealous of you bastards that can actually do baths. After I blew out my knee, I tried to take a bath from time to time, but with my left knee being blown, trying to stand back up after it just doesn't work.
See, it actually helps my knee if I soak it. Like aquatherapy works really well for my knee, which is surprising. But
with I was living down in Nashville, and I had a couple roommates who had kids. There was I don't know, it was a fucking circus.
That's the thing. When Tower Low say 5'9" is average. Yes, 5'9" is average. It seems like a lot of women are like 6 feet or above. It's like 4% of the population is 6 feet and above.
No,
I'm 5'9". But with teenage,
Well, maybe not where you are, but in America, 5'9" is average.
Right.
I'm like
5'7" in Canada, I think, or 5'8".
No, with
the Dutch are the tall.
In North Korea, it's like 3'2".
In where?
North Korea.
North Korea.
They're like their average has like 3'2".
They're the hobbits.
Let the geek finish the story here.
No, I'm finished. I'm just gonna chill now.
You got
my hero on my chest.
There's that passive aggressive British bullshit. No, I'll just sit back. You go ahead and talk. I'll drink some tea.
The old geek. You should use your dad. You should use your dad's privileges before your kids shower and just take like a massive stinky shit. So
that's
they have to
what my dad would do.
Shower and that smell. Yeah, that's what dads do.
It doesn't work that way.
And then you're forced to like brush your teeth.
And it's got that. It's on that humid fucking bathroom stuck in that room, so it's not going anywhere. Yep.
Eat my
Yeah, but
poo vapor. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
That
That's
won't
what I
work
was
here.
saying. When I was living down in Nashville with like 12 other people and their fucking kids, a house full of teenagers, and I just got used to taking cold showers because by the time I was actually able to get in there, all the hot water was fucking gone. So I'm fucking turning into a fucking polar bear because I get cold water. I just got used to it.
Well, and
Good
also
for you.
let's be honest. At least here in the U.S., like the whole teenagers versus parents in the bathroom isn't really an issue. My kids have their own bathroom.
Well, that must be
Hey,
nice.
look
to
at
be so
you.
fucking rich.
Oh yeah,
It must be nice.
that's wonderful.
We've
12
got
fucking
space.
people with one fucking bathroom.
And this
Look at how
My
is
kids
how
have their
he
own
was
bathroom, and
able
my
to
cats
afford-
have their own bathroom too, and my dog has his own car.
Great. No more donations. Nobody's going to feel bad for Wounded Warriors now because he's like,
Yeah.
oh, America's got all the money. They can. Why aren't you guys just donating to everything?
I already did donate.
That's true. You did.
Once
That's an
again,
especially. Oh, fuck.
this is how he was able actually to afford to go to England.
What was that, Victor?
I was gonna say that's an especially big brag considering like you're Mormon, right? You probably have like fucking 20 kids, so you each have your own bathroom.
Hey, look here.
The one wife we know about has 3 kids with him.
Or what's that? 3 wives? I can't remember.
The first,
It's 3 kids with one of the wives.
We never talk
He's doing it.
shit about Kim. Kim is a goddess, and we respect her for putting up with that fucking weirdo all the time.
Mrs. ADHD is awesome.
That
She
is
is the
that
best.
is-
Bang,
Um,
please, Todd,
The
if you need
funniest,
help.
the funniest
right.
shit ever was when I asked if she was in trouble to bang pans,
Yep.
and she started banging pans in the background.
yeah.
That was
Okay, I do have to point out one thing. I think it is absolutely hilarious, and Kim agrees with me that everyone loves Kim, and nobody has seen her on stream ever.
I
They did,
think
this,
they're on
they did the
Facebook, brother.
same thing with my wife for the longest time.
Yeah, I know. It's
See, that's not
Because
how
we
I
love
was
you
expecting
guys.
that comment to go. It's like everyone loves Kim, and then you make that pause. I was waiting for, except for me.
No, no.
That's
Oh,
what
no.
I was waiting for.
I know
no,
exactly
G-Rod.
what I have.
Everyone loves Kim. Pause. She fucking hates all of you.
here's the
How
thing
about
with Noro to keep Noro happy. All it takes is beer and donuts.
No. It's not donuts. It's beer or wine. It's really any alcohol. And what's she eating now? She's got something else that she's on to, and I can't remember what it is. She's got these butter cookies that she's been.
It was donuts.
Was it donut? I don't remember her eating donuts, but yeah, you guys know more about my wife than I do, so you
Her and
know.
my brother talked about drinking beer and eating donuts a dozen times.
Oh, okay.
This might be a weird reference, but I just pictured the donuts from what they used to call donuts in the old Pokemon TV show, which were actually like the Japanese rice balls, but in the dub they called them donuts.
Oh yeah.
Those
know?
are so
Oh.
good.
My daughter absolutely loves croissants, right? She loves, every time I go to Costco, Dad, can we pick up croissants? I'm like, only if you start calling them by the right name. She's like,
Croissant.
that's the right name. There's
Croissant.
French,
Croissant.
there's French donuts.
You're a
Croissant.
chef and you're buying cheap ass
Not
Costco.
croissants.
Can I
Croissant.
ask you Americans a quick question? What the fuck is your issue with the French? Like, they helped you win your independence. They've joined you in every fucking war you fought, yet you shit on them and kiss England's ass
It's,
constantly. What the
it's
fuck?
I think it's because of
That's
De
because
Gaulle. Honestly,
we
it's
don't-
because of De Gaulle in after World War
We
II.
have a straight up reason to hate de Gaulle in this country because he's the one who started all this Quebec bullshit.
I thought the answer was pretty
You hear the
clear. I
laughter?
mean, look at
You hear
the
the
way that
fucking
we talk
laughter
to each
coming
other. It's just what bros do.
You don't have about like that whole Iraq war thing with the freedom fries and shit.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah,
was
well,
long before then.
Before
Yeah, I
that,
know.
it was long before
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Every city in the U.S. has Lafayette Street because of General Lafayette. You wouldn't have a fucking country without him.
Yeah.
And you guys still shit on the French constantly.
The
more than
French
we do
Indian
in
War.
Canada. It's weird.
No,
I
I
watching
really
this-
believe my understanding is because De Gaulle was such an anti-American pissant that during and after World War II, that America's like, fuck you, feed you, we don't need you, go away.
No, it's
So,
the
do
French
you know what he
Indian
did
War.
with the Quebec thing? Do you know how de Gaulle started the Quebec bullshit?
Mm-mm.
He came
mean
to
like-
Canada in the 60s, didn't announce his visit, didn't go to Ottawa to meet the Prime Minister, came to Quebec City and held a rally where he uttered these famous words, Vive le Québec libre, live long, live free Quebec, and riled them all up because the Quebecois, and Max might or may agree with me, have fucking daddy issues in that France hates them and thinks they're a bunch of country bumpkins, but they really wish France loved them. So they're always trying to seek approval
Well,
from
in the
France.
same time, we kind of hate the French as well because we see them like a bit of a bunch of faggot. You know, so can I say that word in the stream?
They'd say
you
it
already
out
did,
loud.
so.
To be completely fair,
No, we felt like
been to-
like the friends like kind of like gave up on us. You know what I mean? When the Anglos came.
Can you blame them?
Justin says it doesn't count. The French aren't people anyway.
Wow.
No, I was watching this cooking program. It was based in London, and like two of the most famous, highly regarded restaurants in London are French.
Yeah, because London took over the world for spices and don't use any.
Yeah, seriously. English cuisine was based on a dare. Come on.
Oi.
Oi.
I don't know.
A dare,
I trying to make
dare
it
and
distinct.
kebabs. A dare and
All right,
kebabs.
dudes, I gotta get
That's
going.
the entire
I gotta
thing.
wake up in wirehouses tomorrow.
All right. Well,
so-
hey, thanks for being on here. Really do appreciate this.
Good to
You have a
meet
good
you,
night.
man.
I
Come
am
by the
so
Color
serious.
Cafe
Yeah,
next
we
time,
need
bro.
to-
Yeah, I owe
Justin
you a
saying,
story about a
Justin
cat.
saying
there.
like the French aren't people.
Eventually.
Like that's fucking daddy issue if I haven't seen any. You know.
Have a good night.
It's fucking
The thing is,
daddy
with
French.
all you lot and the French, we were fighting the French before you even had a country.
Well, you were also
And we were
fighting the
fighting the
Dutch.
French, and we were fighting the French for longer than your country has probably even existed.
Can you change
Wait,
the
hold
motto
on.
from United Kingdom to Land of the Past Glory?
This
That
might
was
be, you know,
we
still-
bathe in that past glory.
John,
The
you're still
tears
fucking
of our-
living
the
under
tears
no
of our
rule.
defeated enemies.
wait, hold on. From my understanding, forgive me, I was not raised in England. I was raised in County Cork. But King Richard the Lionheart, one of the most beloved kings
Goes
through
French.
London, throughout Britain history, right? Did he
No.
speak English? No, wait. He spoke French.
Mhm.
Beloved, beloved,
the
beloved to
king of
who?
England is still king because he can trace his lineage to Guillaume the Conqueror, right?
Well, listen. It's like that line from Blackadder goes forth, right? I'm as British as Queen Victoria. Ah, so your father's German, your mother's German, and you married a German. You know?
Yeah, like, well, that's the Dutch royal family too. It's all just a bunch of Germans.
Well, the
And,
British too, you know, like the
That was
the,
what
the Anglo
Tudors were
were fucking
German.
German, the Saxon were fucking German. Now they have the Anglo-Saxon. Now we're British. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Britain. You fucking replace the Britain. Only
Well,
the Welsh.
Joffrey of Monmouth gave us the concept of Britons. It's quite lovely.
By the way, us
They
Dutch,
turned into a culture. It's awesome.
Yes, you Dutch bastard.
yeah, we kept kicking Britain's ass, and that's why all those Dutch insults came to be, like Dutch courage and stuff, because they were so salty that they couldn't win against us that they made up all these like weird random insults. There's like a whole list of them. It's like just
Hang
to
on,
try
the
and like
Americans,
put us
to the
down.
Americans, you guys can track your history to the Puritans, right? Who were so fucking uptight, the British kicked them out. They went to fucking the Netherlands. They were so fucking annoying, the Dutch kicked them out, and then they came
Yeah.
to America and made a country. Like, what
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
For most Americans, that's a fair statement. That's fair, but I can't trace my family that far back, so I have nothing.
Neither can I. My family's German, so
Realistically, can you blame anybody for picking on the Dutch?
The
No.
bad part is my mom was actually able to on her side was able to get back to the Pennsylvania Dutch, which were the Puritans. So yeah,
Let's see.
They're not even real Dutch. They're Germans. It's basically people mishearing Deutsch, which is German.
Let's see. My dad came over here from Ireland to join the service, so that doesn't work. And my mom's side of the family came over here during the 16th century because King George.
dude, take it to 23andMe.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've done that. No, I didn't.
Give your
Ancestry. I
genetics
didn't
to
do
a
23andMe. I
corporation
did
and
ancestry.
match it up with your voice from your phone and your fucking digital image you put up because that's going to work out well for all of us, right?
Fuck you, Justin.
So
So
to answer Per's question, I've gamed with a shit ton of military people.
Yes.
There it's my second cat, the fat one.
So this is a question. This is quite to bring it to you. And again, this is a 24-hour stream. We're going to talk about everything here, but we may as well have a vet-related question. How many of you have gamed with military gamers, not counting yourself, if you've served? I think that's.
I did.
There's my hand.
When my brother was in Saudi Arabia, the Desert Storm Desert Show, we sent him D&D books. So him and his
really Kuwait looked for him. Now I was allowed to have them, but Kuwait made a little bit of a stink over that when I went there.
Yeah, we sent him knives and stuff, and he played D&D.
As a Canadian, can I tell an American military story that touches my heart and to no end made me a happy person when it happened?
Well, if it's positive and gets people to donate to the Wounded Warrior Project, because we got another $20 in there. Yeah, go ahead.
Back during the Gulf War, early in the Gulf War, I got a message on one of the forums after posting some stuff of the Zenith character, our flagship character, Lady America. I got a message from a guy saying, "Hey, I'm an Army Ranger serving in Iraq. Would you be cool with me printing up a decal of Lady A and slapping her on my my Jeep just so we can show these guys that our women rock just as hard as our men?" And I was like, dude, the only condition I have is send me a fucking picture. Never hear from the guy again. Years later, I get a picture of this fucking U.S. Ranger standing beside his fucking Jeep, and there's Lady A slapped right on the back of it. This is Walt Robilliard, who became one of my best friends in the world, and is just an amazing guy and taught me the most important thing about Rangers, which is Rangers lead. And he's just an amazing guy. So I've gamed with gamers. I've produced gaming material with gamers. I've produced with military guys. I've produced fucking comics with military guys. I fucking love military guys. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the U.S. Navy, and I'll tell that story another time. But
our gaming group, we got my brother who runs the game, and we got a couple other friends who served who play in the game. And it's like we got Marines, we got Navy, we've got Army. I mean, it's like the only thing we don't have is those little pansy guys in the Air Force.
Yeah, these pansy guys send you guys to go die while we sit back smoking the cigarettes and drinking the beer.
Not me. They wouldn't let me in the military. So yeah.
It's called the Chair Force for a reason, Max.
Yeah, duh.
And Justin says, "Look how far the Puritans have fallen. I present Hungar."
Let's see.
Hey. It's too close to Christmas to be picking on Santa.
Look,
he's
everybody
making a list.
Everybody rebels against mom and dad. Let's just be honest.
Let's start with gaming so everybody can answer this, because we with 9 people, I know we can have fun talking over each other. But so Brian, have you played with military members? Not even BattleTech.
To be honest with you, like yes and no. Like never. I know people that are veterans that I would be around. Actually, no. There was like the D&D 4th edition game that we were running. There was a guy who was an ex Navy nuke operator on a carrier. So yes, I actually, now that I think about it, I have specifically, but no, I mean, especially nowadays, guys, like we've like 2000 or September 11th was 22 years ago. The number of vets that are running around at this point, if you don't know any at this point, you've got bigger issues whether or not you've gamed with them. But yeah, there's a lot of good people out there. Just
now, Baron,
just not vets.
Baron, you were in the Army, so it's easy for you to say that you've gamed. How about outside your Army time? Have you gamed? Okay.
Actually, 2 of them, both were Navy. One was a nuke sub tech, and went on to, after being injured in the military, went on to work at Caterpillar as an engineer. And the other is one of our co-hosts for Table Breakers on Thursdays, Bruce.
What is it with the nuclear subtech? One of the original founders, I consider that we have like 3 to 6 core founders of Legion of Myth way back in the day, was an MMO thing. He was Navy nuclear submariner, and he was all nuke and whatnot. He ended up doing a lot of contracting at the Pentagon for your NMCI nonsense. For all the people who hate NMCI, blame him. That's what I kept telling him too. Navy Marines know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's weird that everybody's got a nuclear sub dude.
Well, and the thing is that his issue is that he was 6'2", on a submarine. So he had wound up, falling and cracking his back, and that's what actually made him go out and everything else. But he was actually able to finish his degree in engineering and go on with the CAP. He's now medically retired.
Okay.
And everything else. And then, once again, like I said, Bruce, I'm sure there's a few, and truthfully, in the time that, at the game room, a lot, actually, another one who was an artillery tech, an artillery guy on destroyers and above, who actually was a good friend of mine, who was one of the original guys at Judges Guild, Dave Searing. Game with him.
Okay, we didn't need a name-by-name breakdown. Jesus.
Hey, you asked a question.
Aaron doesn't tell short stories. Have you not figured that out?
No. And truthfully, the past 45 minutes, I haven't been able to get a word in edgewise. So I'm taking my time.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I
will yield the rest of my time.
No. Keep talking, because you might not get another chance.
Actually, that I can think of off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. I'm sure there's a few others, but off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Connell, didn't you already give your answer?
No. I mean, yes and no. Of course, I could say I've gamed with Baron a few times in person, mostly on YouTube here lately. Bruce, of course, in person, and I'm actually running the book that you sent me, Death in Space, for a group of there's like 5 service guys.
Okay.
And it's just halftime. I'm just listening to them bitch at each other. They have to do a mission. All right, you fucker. And I'm like, I'm just gonna sit back, get some popcorn. You guys work out your step family issues. I understand, but yeah, I've ran for vets and I've played with vets.
Funny thing is, my brother's nephew, he just got out of his officer training school for the Navy to be a nuclear technician. It's like, and then
is that all the Navy has now?
And a kid I grew up with retired from the Navy, and guess what his job was? Nuclear technician. And
they got rid of battleships, and now everybody's just going to nukes.
Yeah, it's like,
I got 2 things I want to say. 1, can you show me the way to the nuclear vessels? And 2, Baron G, whining about not getting your fair turn to talk when others are talking sounds awful fucking commie to me, buddy.
Yeah, do you have a response to that?
Okay. Yes. There will be many Twitter posts, and there will be people that will be pissed. There will be dividing lines.
Excellent.
And you'll have to take another week off.
Look, pick a side. Pick which channel you're going to be on.
Oh no! From now on, I pick sides. No more middle ground. I pick sides from now on. Fuck everyone. I believe. Where did I put it? I have the absolute mental here. I showed it on Hungar stream. I'll find it. Go ahead, move on.
So, Connell, did we finish with you or no? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah.
So, wait, the answer is yes. You played with military folks. Okay, Victor, does the Dutch even have a military?
Yeah, we have a really good
do you
one,
rely
actually.
on the Germans to protect you?
No, well, they're trying to make the whole. They're trying to do the whole. They're trying to do the whole European army thing. So it's like, but no, we have military. No, but I've played with you technically.
Right.
You're a veteran, in quotes. But no,
keep that up there. Go ahead, Vic.
I played with Legacy. One of my friends in the tabletop scene. One of my friends in the tabletop scene, he was Swedish Special Forces. He liaisoned with American and British teams in Afghanistan and the Congo and stuff. So he did some shit. I was very Special Forces. I rode the short Jeep. So
Is that Dutch code for giving handies in the officers' mess? What is that?
I got a question for Victor. When these guys are giving each other orders, is it bok, 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 bok?
What, the Dutch? Or...
Yeah.
He's Dutch, not French.
Yeah.
He's not a Martian either.
No, I was thinking that
just happened?
the Dutch chef off of Muppet, the Muppet
It's
Show.
What's the
Pork.
Dutch? That's
It's
Swedish.
Swedish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a different.
Hey,
It's a-
Connell, drink another beer. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, I have a
You've earned
question
it.
to answer. How long? 24 hours. It's 24-hour Veterans Day stream. So.
And it started at midnight.
Hold on, real
Central
quick.
Time. Oh God, we can't even get to the old geek. What's going on?
I want to address one Steve Cross comment. He says the battle, you were talking about that. There's no more battleships. Battleships are obsolete. Sadly, yes, they look awesome, but the Iowa would be a hugely expensive flag waving thing that's also worryingly vulnerable today.
Yeah.
And we're Americans. It's how we roll.
Yeah.
You want big guns on floaty things.
Yeah, Clogs is the Dutch Navy. They're just getting these big wooden shoes. And fill their asses.
Yeah, and we still kick the British ass somehow. So
real quick.
Wow, geez, he will not let that drop.
Yeah, no.
Hold on.
Go ahead, good Brian. What's up?
Real quick. I saw a video the other day of this guy making Dutch wooden shoes, and the only thing I could think of was Victor.
I saw this video as well.
It's because it's the only thing any of us know of the Dutch. Sven.
Yeah, they like to finger dike.
We like to keep it that way, so you underestimate those.
Yeah, don't forget the tulips and putting fingers in dikes. That's all I know about the Dutch.
Most of the dikes I know.
Enough
won't
of your
be
porn
that, though.
history.
All right, Deal Geek. Do you play with military folks?
Face to face, no.
Crazy.
But and the thing is,
The street team has gone to hell.
there's only one person I know who's military who I've played with on Discord, but I won't say I played with him. More, I was in a game where he was there, because if you've ever chatted to Omanal, you'll know about getting words in edgeways.
I mean, no, I would not know at all.
Yeah. So you live in Britain. I know there are like 95 bases there. You got Croughton, Menwith Hill, Mildenhall, Lakenheath, Elkinberry. How could you? I mean, there's probably more that I'm not thinking of. Those are just some of the Air Force ones. How is it that you don't have access to military folks?
Because they don't tend to move in my circles.
Okay, fair enough.
My face-to-face group, most of the people there are about 15, 20 years younger than me. Very British, very British, very nerdy, and it's too much like exercise. They've all got jobs where they sit on their asses and tap on keyboards.
I think there's a bigger overlap between nerds and the military in the US than there is in Europe, in my experience.
Yeah.
And also, you have to understand, outside of America, there's not as many military people. We don't have as big army as America does.
Yeah.
And also, a normal country, there's not this big military worship as well. In Quebec, I have one friend, my oldest friend of 25 years, right, is a vet. He's been in the Navy, but we don't talk about it. He doesn't like to talk about it. It's not something to be proud of. We don't have this military thing that oh, thank you for. We never say that.
Well, you have to win once in order to have that.
I call him a vet. I say he's a veteran, which technically he is. That's a way to tease him, That's it's not something like you say, yeah, shut up, man. Just don't call him that. It's fucking stupid. It's something he did, but.
Mr. Boivin, to build on that, it's the fact that America is the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, because you're the only ones, unlike the British, who didn't claim to be. That's the thing. That's why you guys are the best contenders.
And we're falling just like it too. So yeah.
But it's because in Canada we don't. It's not that we don't fetishize it and we don't jingoism. We don't do jingoism in Canada.
That's
I
fair.
had someone ask me, why is your primary character Lady America and not Lady Canada? Because if you dress someone up in the Canadian flag here, we point and laugh at them. Oh wait, that's the Toronto Maple Leafs. Never mind.
There is one other point. Regarding British vets and everything. Most of our vets are really old now because we just don't get involved in as many wars as you do nowadays.
Yeah.
We sit and twiddle our thumbs and drink tea and tut.
Wait, they're British. Didn't Prince Harry go to Afghanistan or some shit?
I don't know Prince Harry.
No. I'm not saying you
Prince
know
Harry?
him. No, but my point was, he literally the only British person that went there?
Yes.
Okay,
according to our media, yeah.
Okay.
But also, there's this thing, a veteran, somebody that been in the military for some year in the US, never saw combat, is considered a veteran. That's something we don't necessarily if you didn't see combat, when people don't talk about it, just say something I did, whatever. Just don't move above it. So we don't have this notion of serving the country. We don't have a country. We barely have a
Yeah.
country. Fucking shit show.
One other thing that like my understanding, like especially with like the British and Canadian style military, like you join a unit and you stay in that unit.
Yeah.
Whereas with the US, it's like, okay, you join. Okay, you're going to get sent to this unit first. 3 years later, you're going to that unit.
Yeah,
3 years
well, I mean,
later, you're going
the
to
first
that
part
unit.
is the guard or the reserve. The guard and reserve stay with their unit, but outside of that, right? Well, until they deploy. But yeah, I mean, but the point of that is so that you get a broader perspective. It isn't supposed to.
No, I know, but
Can you
I'm just
move
saying they don't-
Hungar and Victor, please, so we have all the foreigners on the bottom and all the Americans on the top, please?
I
I don't
OCD
want to
is
be on the
crying.
bottom.
There you
Yes,
go.
you do.
But-
You're a bottom, and you
No,
How are you, Victor?
No,
You're such a fucking bottom, please.
no,
my whole point about that
I'm
is
too hung to
with,
be a bottom.
with the US, we also have, because you have that quote unquote forced migration of people in the military, you know, it's a little bit easier to, you know, have somebody who came from Minnesota that ends up in Arizona because they're a vet, and so you find people that way.
I mean,
too.
that's me. I mean, Alabama, not Arizona in my case, but yeah, I mean that's exactly me. And you know, I talk about how I've traveled all over the world. That's the only thing I like about the American Empire stuff is it helped me see the world. But there's one thing that really bothers me. It's always bothered me, and I don't mean this in an incredibly negative way, but I mean it's just something that just makes me feel a little on the inside is when people are like, oh my God, you're in the military? Like, thank you for serving, doing all stuff. Like, dude, I had a 9-to-5 job, and a lot of people, I don't know, because that
I did
fetishism.
Photoshop.
That's what I did. I learned Photoshop in the Air Force because I was a graphic artist. Now that doesn't mean I didn't deploy or I didn't do anything, but the point is like 99% of what I did was simply going to work. The Marines act a little differently, but for me, I went to work at 7:30 in the morning and went home at 4:30, hung out with my friends, basically had a life, some random, deployments or whatever mixed in there, but I don't feel like I did anything special. I mean, a Marine does more in basic training than I probably did all 9 years of my Air Force career. And then sometimes like, dude, you serve, you got to be proud of that. I mean, I am proud of it because I understand the potentiality of what I did, but really I just went to work so
yeah.
It's just actually
Thank
like,
you for
yes, it is.
attending his TED Talk. Oh, everybody went dead quiet on that one.
I think in
Could you
Quebec
guys
it's
have
even
prop
worse.
take some shots at the Air Force like you normally do, please? Jesus.
I think in Quebec it's even worse because, like, if you go in the military, you go in the Canadian military, and we don't even see that as our country, right? So you're just like basically a mercenary. You're like the very young guard. Fuck, I cannot say this word now at this time. So you're just like going, like, it's just a job that you took. You just went there to make some money. Maybe you went overseas. We don't feel like you served us, just like. But that's also because of
I mean, I understand. I mean, there is some sacrifice
of our political situation. You know what I mean? Like being from Quebec and stuff like that, right? It's not like you're going in the Quebec army.
No, and we all hate it. We all hate it. I guess what I'm trying to say is we all understand the potentiality of what we did, and I hope most people thought about it before they joined. Again, I talked about some of that at the beginning of the stream, but ultimately, the people went to Fallujah, completely different story. The people who, especially with the Afghanistan, Iraq, during my time, what did we have? We had no-fly zones over Iraq. Oh, and the whole Montenegro, Serbia thing, Croatia and whatnot. Other than that, I don't think anything really happened while I was in, because I joined literally right after the first Gulf War and got out right before 9/11.
What I feel bad for is the guys who went to Somalia.
Well, again, I mean, the movie side, the movie aspect of it aside, we've had people in Somalia for a long time.
Yeah, and I still feel bad for them.
And to also be honest on the Canadian side, because I know I have a friend of mine who served in the British Army, but he's Canadian, and he grew up in Quebec, but now lives in Saskatchewan. And he was, special forces, all that stuff. But, it's the thing is that on the Canadian side, they can actually choose to go serve in either the Royal Army, Air Force, etc. Also, that's an option.
Yeah.
So Curtis, wasn't there also a small dust up in Panama? Yeah, I mean the Noriega thing was what, like 87, 88? All they did was they played loud music and made him quit.
No,
you guys remember the SNL sketch about Grenada? They had this great fucking sketch about Grenada where the kid's walking with his dad and they're passing by a bookstore and it says, the book about remember Grenada. It's like, Dad, what was Grenada? And then they did one of those ads like Vietnam, but it was like, you'll be there as our soldiers took the beach. You'll be there as they defeated the forces. You'll be there and figure out what they did for the rest of the day.
A friend of mine actually was in the airborne and parachuted into Panama. And he said it was a little spicy when they were doing that.
And they took all of Miss Noriega's shoes.
I watched Heartbreak Ridge again recently, which is about Filipino
shoes. Okay, Connell, you're trying to say something. What's up?
I think it's slightly sad but interesting. Most of my generation and up, if you haven't served, the concept of we were in Korea for a war. I thought that was just a TV series. Is mentioned a lot. If it wasn't for the show MASH, the Korean.
It's called the Forgotten War, right?
No, actually, I'm not.
Yeah, Korea is called the Forgotten War.
If you go by MASH, the Korean War lasted like fucking 20 years.
13. The show was on for 13 years.
Okay, but it only lasted for like 2.5 for real. What was that, Mr. Max?
The current war is still ongoing, fucking guys.
Well, okay. Yes. Okay. Fucking autism. Stop it.
Yeah. I expect that from the guy.
Sometimes you have to remember
not that one, but the one over.
It's not because you're not involved anymore that the war.
Gentlemen, no fighting. This is the war room.
They tell us that even when I went over there, they're like, hey, just so you know, there's technically a ceasefire, an armistice. It's not an actual peace agreement. Look. The last thing that happened is somebody got hacked in the 1970s, like 1978, 1979. A couple of North Koreans come running across the border. They axe murdered a few people chopping down some trees or something like that. I forget what. There's nothing happening over there. I mean, there are incidences. Hell, when I was stationed in Korea, we had one of our helicopters went across the border, and then we had 2 of their subs land in South Korea, where the South Koreans quickly massacred them all because they don't fucking play.
Yeah.
So.
There's still a whole lot of people that live in fucking under they have to listen to K-pop and shit like that. It's awful. Those people need to be freed.
Son of a bitch.
Listen, Shin Ramen is the greatest ramen, and that's all I have to say about that.
I think we were actually too, Mr. Max Boyvon. Have you played with? You live in the woods. You probably don't know any vets because everybody out there is a lumberjack. I said
one of my oldest friend of 25 years is technically a veteran. So yeah, I did play with veteran. Okay. Maybe you're the one because, like I said, sometimes we don't talk about it here. So people serve. Yeah. We sometimes don't know. You're just like, oh, really? You've been in the military? Weird. That's how far it goes.
Yeah.
So the geek was Bear.
What?
Have you gamed with anybody in the military? I think you're the last one I need to ask.
I think I started this. Yes, many military people. Can I tell my Navy story now?
Go ahead, tell your Navy story.
Okay. 1990s, I'm working at a bar in Vancouver called the Hotel California. It's a fucking dive, but it's $2 pints, so we get all the scum. But we were brought in as the cleanup crew. Our job was to basically make it a civilized bar so they could eventually sell it and renovate it. So one night, the USS Constellation comes into port, and suddenly I've got 200 fucking American sailors in my bar. At the start of the night, SP walks up to me and he says, "Hey, if my boys fuck up, can you call me?" And he hands me a card and it's got his number. And I'm like, absolutely. We'll call you before we call the police on any of your boys. Promise. Because we know they're going to get it way worse from the fucking shore patrol than they are from our police. Cool. No problem. That's the night I tore my meniscus in my right knee, breaking up a fight and throwing a kick with bad floorboards, where the floorboards underneath my leg did this and I was fully extended and my knee did this.
Ouch.
And that was a meniscus tear, which they misdiagnosed, but that's beside the point. I'm limping around. 2 of the other bouncers are like, "Dude, we got to go set up because we're doing an after hours boost can after." They're like, "We got to go. We'll be back in an hour." I'm like, "Guys, I can barely walk. What the fuck are you doing to me? Like, you don't leave." No, we'll be back. And they leave. So I'm sitting at the front door having a cigarette. A couple of sailors walk up to me. They go, "Hey, you got a bad wheel, eh?" And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, "All right, cool." And they walk away. That's all they say. I'm like, okay, whatever. Fucking 5-10 minutes later, this asshole starts harassing one of my waitresses. So I go limping across the fucking barber's table. I'm like, "Dude, you fuck around anymore, you're out of here." He literally looks at my knee, looks at me, and stands up and goes, "What are you going to do about it?" And behind him 50 sailors stood up at one time like a fucking unit. And I just went, I ain't going to do shit, but they're going to kill you. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm leaving. He just walked out the door.
So that's the one thing that the Marines are like that as well. They will all fuck with each other until you fuck with one of them, and then.
Well, for me, that was literally like, you know what? Ever since that day, I have nothing but respect for American servicemen because they had my back when even my own team didn't have my back.
Usually service members, yes, you get the weird ones, you get some randos, whatever. But typically, most military service members recognize right from wrong. And yeah, they get a little rowdy and they'll stick to their own business. But as soon as somebody outside like you or that other person steps in, then they realize, okay, it's time for us to do something. Now, which one's in the right here? Well, you are the one in the right. So you're going to be the one, basically the side that they join, if you want to call it that. Like, okay, we got to cure this before the outsiders. Because, like you said, the shore patrol or whomever, they tend to take care of their own.
Yeah.
Your
legs, John. That was super sexy there, you British pasty fuck.
Look at the leg.
Going back to what I was saying about the Death in Space game, I love these guys. I mean, I got 2 guys who are in the Army, 2 guys who are in the Army, 1 Marine, a Navy guy, and I'm not 100% sure what the other guy did, but he was all service. And they're just giving each other shit. It's like a family reunion that I'm the guest at when it comes to this bantering. And I'll say something. I've gotten comfortable enough with these guys where if they fire something at me, I'll give it right back. Because like the first 4 months of gaming these guys, I just ran a game. I didn't say dick. Because I'm not part of that fraternity of, people who does service. So I just kept my mouth shut and ran the game. But as soon as it feels like with some of these vets, once you're in the group, you're just in. Doesn't matter if you served or not. You're just in. You're okay.
As long as you're not bad mouthing what they do or did, absolutely. Because even if somebody like you on the outside would give me shit for being a graphic artist, not knowing at all what the fuck it is that I did. Oh, you drew pictures. Yeah, I wish that's all I did. We all respect each other. We all know that everybody has a different job in life to do. It's also why a lot of us don't bust the balls of a fast food service worker, because we all know that we're doing whatever the fuck it is we need to do to get through in life. But you start busting the balls of what it is that they do, calling infantry baby killers, or you just play at war, you don't actually go, and you weren't in the service. Like if a Marine says that to me, I say you're right. If an airman says it to me, shut up, dude. You do the same thing I do. Fuck off. If you say that to me, I'm gonna key your car.
One of my friends who is a Marine, just retired. He joined, me and him and another guy was supposed to join at the same time. 9/11 just happened. The Marine said yes, yes, no, and I just happened to be the no for reasons. Anyways, he just retired out of the service. I made him a Swiss roll cake. It's basically a cake that's rolled up, and I made it look like a great big red crayon. He loved it.
Okay, no matter what we've said about Victor all night, that literally was the gayest thing I heard all night.
What did he say?
What did he say? He
said
that
he made a Swiss cake roll.
He wasn't allowed to get in the military, so he made a cake that looked like a crayon.
No, well, my friend who retired from the Marine Corps, and the joke is Marines eat crayons, so I made him a cake that looked like a big ass red crayon.
And the joke is you're gay.
and Connell, you wonder why on Table Breakers I remove you from the chat for a few minutes after you say stuff like that.
He fucking loved it. His wife was pissed off at me. I won, so
Yeah, Connell, you're gayer than me.
That's
no.
That's been a lot because Victor's
You're
kinda
still
gay.
the pretty princess.
Hunger, you're gay too.
Well, if I was gay, you would be my bitch, Victor.
Hungar's not
yeah,
gay,
that's
he's
fine.
woke, and he loves Kenny
Yeah.
D. We all
That's
know
the same
that.
thing.
So L, again, saying chair force, from the other services or even from within the Air Force isn't a big deal. It's when randos out there think that they get to be, well, you're just chair force. And what did you do? Go to high school? Ooh, look at you.
Yeah, you're just chair force, Max. I'm European. I don't give a fuck. I don't have to respect your American soldier stuff.
Just remember the chair force has B2s.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we have B3s, so,
Yeah,
all
B3s.
that.
What was that? Mr. Max?
L in his comment, L is saying that he was in the Air Force as a mechanic. Is that what he's saying there?
Yeah, and somebody freaked out. I was calling Chair Force. Look, I understand the Chair Force thing, and I know people say it how we said it. Chairborne Ranger. That's right. I have no problem with that. Again, it's when people, try to. Sorry, if you were. Look, this is what I mean. It doesn't mean that nobody can say it. We have a group of folks here who are military and not military, but we all here sit here and bust our balls. If we were all a group of military, and let's just say for the sake of our argument that Mr. Max was the only one that wasn't, and he started doing that stuff, we'd all look at him like, who the fuck are you talking to? We all have that rapport built up. That's the one thing you don't get.
Yeah, but I'm also an American, like Victor. So
what's that? No. I'm saying if, like I would say it, because not all of us have been in the military.
We're not impressed.
Yeah, well, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's just like it's not just like, but I mean, it's sort of like us friends around a gaming table.
Yeah,
we're not. Yeah, we're like I brought up Chair Force. No, I didn't serve. Almost. That's a story for another time. But I'm going to say it, and Max isn't going to get mad at me because he knows I'm just here having fun. We're just trying to enjoy each other's company. Again, it just comes down to, are you trying to insult someone, or are you just trying to play around and have some fun?
Exactly.
I like one of my friends is a Marine. Love the guy. But
did you show him the CRE?
I sent him the link this morning to Crayons Ready to Eat. So,
it comes down to something that we were talking about with Bear the other day. Guys make fun of each other, as friends.
Yep.
We bust each other's balls. That's how dudes bond.
We bond over our balls.
I'm going to make fun of. Well, I'm not
we bond over our balls.
I'm not going to make fun
and then when it's all said and done, Victor kisses him and makes it better. So it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to make fun of Max because Max is my dude.
You fucking onion balls, fuck off.
Max Leal is my freaking internet husband, so I don't make fun of him a lot. But everybody makes fun of Kyle.
Yeah.
And Victor
onion balls is the statement du jour now. I'm sorry.
You mentioned like as tabletop gamers. I've been in the tabletop trenches. I did a character creation video for Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I have PTSD.
Tabletop trenches. Wow.
He's probably been over a tabletop once or twice.
Yeah, all right. I'm a fucking veteran of the Psychic Wars. It all works out.
I'm a level 1 fighter. I'm a veteran.
He's MK Ultra over here.
I see you.
No, I've just dated too many narcissists in my life. That's the problem.
No, but even on top of that, on a more serious note, friends can also look at somebody else instead of enabling, can say, "Yo, you're acting like a shit stain right now."
Yeah, quit being a douche.
Absolutely, yeah.
And one of the things that I think is lost is people are like, you can't say that to somebody. You can't be like that. No, if you're actually somebody's friend, you look at them and say, look, you're acting like a douche nozzle. You're being a douche nozzle, and you need to stop doing this because it's not going to be good for your life. Love you like a brother, but you need to fucking calm down,
All right, I got it.
It's part of being a friend.
All right, Boivin gets the message.
I get it. I get the message.
So, aside from us all, sucking the staff right now and fluffing the fucking flag, how many people here are veterans other than Mr. Liao? Who else is a vet? G-Rock. So we got 2 vets on a vet stream. Wow.
I'm a veteran of the Psychic War.
I already made that joke. Gungar, get your own material. God damn it.
Hey, they had more earlier.
I've been to Chicago. Does that count?
Nah.
I was in Air Force.
Chirac.
Well, wait. Hold on. Was it the South Side?
Yes.
Oh, then yes.
Right by the White Sox Stadium.
Wait, if Chicago counts.
Yeah, that counts.
Wait, if Chicago counts, I was in Ireland during the 90s. Does that count?
Nobody cares.
I work downtown East Side Vancouver. Does that fucking count? Because I'm telling you, I've seen some crazy ass shit down there too with the indigenous, the locals.
I wore camouflage pants once.
And they ran around going, "Find my ass! Find my ass!"
Victor
they were green and black.
Dated a serviceman. Does that count?
Oh my god!
I was in I was in Air Force ROTC, but for
Ran
some
off
reason,
to Canada.
what?
It's an old Vietnam joke that
Yeah.
my dad
Okay.
was ROTC during Vietnam, ran off to Canada.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was. I wanted to join, and then for some reason, one commandant of cadets left, and the new guy came in, and he's like, "Yeah, you don't get to be here anymore," and never explained to me why. And so I
actually almost
ended
joined.
up not joining. So
I almost joined because I failed high school, and I was like, I was seriously looking into joining the Dutch Army. But then we ended up moving, and I had a chance to just start over in a new high school, and I just did that instead. And then I ended up in disability and stuff.
Army, but he wasn't good at baking, so
Yeah.
he didn't pass the entrance exam.
I've been told that I have like a problem with the authority, and I'm not fit. For
You know, never.
My uncle, I was going to join. My uncle was the North Shore Regiment during World War II, landed on Juno Beach, the whole 9 yards. And he explained to me quite clearly when I was like 17, he goes, dude, the Army training is to break you down and rebuild you as a person. You are a person. You will not enjoy it. Don't go to the Army. And I was like, okay, that's fair. I'll take it from him.
Yeah, all that was explained to me before I joined. Now, again, I did the Air Force, and I did the Air Force in the early 90s, so I joined in 92. So it was 6-week basic training, not the 7.5 week they have now. But they actually yelled at us, and don't make me play the new video of Air Force basic training, because that is embarrassing, especially once I found out that it was real. Victor, you were on that stream, weren't you, when we were making fun of that one? Or Connell, you were? Where I was like, no, that's not real, that's not real, that's not real. And then I found out it is real, and now I'm really embarrassed for the Air Force. What
are your pronouns, maggot?
No, there was no yelling. It was like, all right, Billy, good job, Billy. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? That did not happen in my basic training.
They have X cards in basic training now.
You notice that all the
X cards.
You notice that all
It's not
the
as
U.S.
bad.
the
It's
U.S.
not
military.
as bad as Space Force.
Go ahead, Victor.
Space Force is pretty based Stockholm. What right there. No, but you notice how like all the U.S. like military recruitment like commercials are like all of a sudden like really like just gritty, and it's just like
It's white men,
they
it's white men in them again.
Yeah, they stopped with the whole like I have less
Parachuting out of
balance, and, like,
helicopters.
yeah.
All right.
So that's why you know when shit's going down.
This is gonna be really fucking nerdy. I realize how fucking nerdy it is. I grew up watching Doctor Who, and there's a reason I'm starting with Doctor Who. I'm watching Doctor Who, and it's the Tennant era, and they're doing the double beat because of Time Lord's heartbeat. Da 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 da. And the commercial came on. Then all of a sudden, I start hearing it again. Da 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 da. Few hear the calling to come to arms. But it turns out to be a Marine commercial, but they had the same cadence that they were using for Doctor Who. I'm like, what the fuck?
Is Doctor Who like the nerdiest show there is? Like, like you can watch Star Trek, you're a bit of a nerd, normie watch
your
Doctor
favorite
Who,
show,
like there's
man?
no coming back. You watch Doctor Who, the worst type of nerd, the lowest rank of nerd.
For those of you just
Kiss
joining,
my
Max
ass,
Borman is
you
a self-hating
frog
Trekkie.
eating bastard.
What?
No, Max Borman's a self-hating Trekkie, and we just need to remember.
Isn't there a smell you need to go lick?
And just also for everybody, just so everybody knows, this is a 24-hour live stream to support the Wounded Warrior Project. The link's in the description below. If you're watching on somebody else's channel, well, the link's in my description below, and I can put the link. Appreciate that. Thank you. So we are raising funds. Ignore Al for a moment. So we are raising funds for the Wounded Warrior Project right now. We are at $190 of a $1,000 goal. The reason it's $1,000 because last year I put the goal at $250 and we made almost $1,300. So I figured, bigger channel, bigger, folks on here that we could probably hit that $1,000. So if you want to help the Wounded Warrior Project get there, that'd be awesome. If you want to know more about the Wounded Warrior Project, I can talk about that in a little bit. But now we're going to go back to
that now. Why don't you, while you're still
chats.
awake and have energy?
Please don't send super chats to Max Lau or anybody else if you want to donate money.
Yeah.
For those calls, put it donate to the link, please.
Yeah.
So when
Why
are you
don't
doing
for the non-Americans who are watching? Maybe we need to know what that is, sir.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a national, nonpartisan, so it's national, so it is American. And then I got to see right as soon as somebody says no, the folks who watched this show completely ignore you. You got $2 super chats. Remember to stay hydrated. Well, I've got all types of drinks around me. My wife, well, you can't see it because, my wife made me. She prepared me, so I appreciate that. But let's donate to the Wounded Warrior Project. It's a national nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Now, the big thing is a lot, whether it's mental health or physical health. The wounds come in many different ways. I worked with a guy in Germany, and if you actually look up my old office, I don't know if it's true now, but when I worked there, if you look up my old office where I worked for 11 years, you didn't see anything about the office. You saw him receiving his Purple Heart from Afghanistan, and he definitely had some trauma. Well, you can tell by the way he acted. This allows people to get therapy. This allows people to get medical assistance. This allows people to get the help that they need. It could just be counseling, a friend to talk to, for people who have seen some shit, done some shit, and so forth out there. So it's always service related, and I don't have a script in front of me, obviously, but as I said at the beginning of the stream, I've met people, specifically the one guy, if you watch the beginning of the stream, where I met him at the gun range, and he said that the Wounded Warrior Wounded Warrior Project saved his life. He wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for the Wounded Warrior Project. So I know it does help you.
So, Mr. Liao, I just shared an image with you. This is a friend of mine's wife who's a nurse at the Veterans Hospital here in Montreal, working with mostly now just the guys left over from Korea and some new guys, but it's the older guys. But she just shared this image. So for all the jazz you see the French and English give each other in Canada, never forget this is how we are at the end of the day. We're still all Canadians. So good luck, buddy. And toi aussi, mon ami means you too, my friend. So keep that in mind, guys. There are no atheists in foxholes. There are no linguistic bullshit when Canadians go to war. We put all that shit aside and ask anyone who's fought us. We are not fun to fight because we are cocksuckers when it comes to war.
My neighbors.
If anything, there's like almost a competition between the service, between the Vendus and the rest of the, Vendu's got like a fucking nasty reputation from being like fierce and doing the war crime, but
it's only a war crime the first time.
Need to stop crying about it. You know what I mean? It's war.
Listen, we've got the Seaforth Highlanders, we got the Princess Patricia's Light, we've got the Vendus, we've got the Black Watch, we've got a lot of really famous and very well talented military units in Canada. Everyone who's ever been our ally in a war knows how dependable we are, and anyone who's ever fought us in a war knows what a piece of fucking work we are when we fight you. Even the Americans have learned that lesson twice. Don't fuck with us. We are like hockey. We're here to play the game. Oh, you're pushing us into the fight? Well, now we're fighting, and when we fight, we don't start it, but we finish it. And that's one thing we can always be proud of as Canadians, is that we fight for what's right and we fight to the last.
I had a friend whose grandfather was a Canadian, and you can imagine how him and the grandmom met, after blasting some Germans. So yeah.
My uncle was in the liberation of Holland, and he said the shittiest thing the Germans did was blow the dikes, so they had to fight the Germans in waist deep, freezing cold water. Because that was the shittiest. This guy landed on Juno Beach, and he's like, that was the shittiest part of the war for him, fighting in the Netherlands.
I don't want this to change anybody's mind, so I'm a little scared to show this, but I'll do it anyway. So I have 2 Wounded Warrior Project. I have a year-long one, and then the one that's just for today. And somehow, and I said this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm going to say it again. Wow, that takes forever to share. I didn't even know this, but we made the goal for the yearly one. I put it up for $1,250. I didn't know a single person ever donated to it because I never got any announcements. But look at all these fine people that I'm going to scroll through quickly down here that donated throughout the year. Wow, $1,200. I think that's a channel. Yeah, that's a supporting campaign. So that's a channel. So but somehow they all joined the Nerds and Warriors team that I never got a message from Tiltify about that. Maybe I have the messages turned off. I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you for the folks who did get our goal for the year. But we're looking at for today, because we have a 24-hour goal of $1,000. Boom, there we go. We're at $195 now. Thank you to Curtis for the recent $5 donation. And again, every little bit counts. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $100. All the donations count, and really appreciate that. We're hoping to get to 1,000 by midnight tonight.
Is one Michael L. Hoa D745 having a stroke, or is he a bot?
I don't know.
I was wondering. I can't make sense of his message, but there's some nerd word in there.
But that's on somebody else's channel. That's not on my channel. So
You
No,
sure
that's
that's
on
not
yours.
showing? That's not showing the
That's
chain.
yours, buddy.
No, I'm seeing the chain.
No, it's not.
I'm not seeing the chain.
I'm not seeing the chain
Yeah,
either.
there's a chain. I think it's on Yogg's channel.
Let me go and have a look.
But yeah, it definitely looks like a bot.
Yeah, just
Here.
silence him, please.
I'll just do this. Hold on. Entire screen. We're gonna get a weird effect here, but whatever.
He's not a
Oh, you're
bot.
not in my real. Then grow up and stop
Yeah,
acting
yeah.
like an asshole, please.
See,
That's why
see,
people don't, and that's
see,
why
I've
people don't like me because I'll say that shit directly to your face.
but I do have a chain.
Inception.
Goldberg, hell.
Oh
Oh, yeah,
wow.
right.
Okay.
Channel
Now,
earlier.
who was talking about Doctor Who earlier?
What the-
Hungar is
We
Whoopi
lose.
Goldberg in center square. No, he's not Whoopi. He's fucking. Jesus, we were making that joke yesterday. Who was it, Hungar? Not Charles Nelson Riley. It was the other guy.
Oh, we lost Mr. Max.
John C. Wiley.
Here we go.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Ah,
Ah,
And as a side note, folks, I also have my real YouTube live chat up as well, and he's not coming through there. So
Okay.
okay. Well, he either needs to stop his shit or get silenced because that's
Yeah.
just annoying as fuck.
50
Not Jim J.
days.
Pollock, the guy, the gay guy in the center square before Jim J. Pollock. What the fuck was his name? The one who started talking, oh my God, he was sort of really flaming. What the fuck was his name? Jesus Christ. Oh, never mind. It's my.
I've had people like throughout the year kind of bust my balls a little bit at the Wounded Warrior Project. Max is supporting the military-industrial complex. Look, if you listen to that Tim Pool, Luke Rakowski, whatever the fuck his name is, nonsense, that's a you issue, not me. I don't know why that dude's getting so popular and people are listening to him like he's fucking God's gift to news and opinion commentary, but I really wish somebody would silence their asses. No, I don't mean that because I think that their voices are necessary, but I do think that the people who believe them are fucking retarded. So,
What? Who's retarded?
Tim Pool,
Most
Luke
people.
Rakowski or Rudakowski or whatever the fuck his name is.
Luke Rudowski.
Yeah,
I got
good.
nothing.
Hey,
You don't know that?
you're better off for it.
Yeah.
They need to.
All I know is Tim
females
Pool's
need to fix
bald,
that
which
shit.
is where he wears a fucking toque all the time. You're not fooling anybody. We know you're bald. Take off your fucking toque. Jesus
Imagine how it
Christ.
smells under there.
What is it with you with onion balls now? How it smells like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Victor's got a smell fetish.
No, the opposite. I hate smells. I hate bad smells.
Do you shampoo? Never mind.
No, I hate bad smells. So I do. I take lots of baths.
I like I'm not gonna say that. So, I'm gonna keep it out. So yeah.
Well, you're French. You always smell like brie or camembert or something.
You know, I can, Curtis. I can understand that, and I should be careful because I don't want him silenced because I think he has a lot good to say. But he also has he's stuck up on himself where he believes his own shit way too much. He's not as smart as he thinks he is, and he doesn't know as much as he thinks he does.
No,
You know?
clearly not. And we call like Tim Pool like the guy who just fucking started paying attention. You know, he's always making those relations like, where have you been for the last fucking 20 years? You know, it's like, can you believe this guy? Yeah, man. Just like you're fucking stating the obvious, motherfucker.
Tim Pool has the energy of someone that when I was a bouncer, I'd be like, oh, this fucker's going to cause a fight tonight because he's got that fucking energy. You know, like he's going to piss someone off and they're going to take a swing at him. And now I'm involved. Fuck.
Yeah, like the kind of guy like he's in your face, but doesn't have the balls to back it.
Well, but Ben, look, Els had a good point. Tim Pool is the milquetoast Ben Shapiro. I can respect Shapiro, even if I don't agree with everything Shapiro says. Shapiro knows how to talk. He knows how to work a room, and he knows how to sometimes.
He has a moral stance too,
and he can sometimes extend an olive branch. I've seen him actually win people over sometimes, whereas Tim Pool's just a little.
I can't fucking stand Shapiro. He doesn't have a moral stance.
So that's the
Speaking of-
choice. You don't have to
He's a
enjoy him.
grifter.
Israel has a right to exist. That's all that matters. So there we go.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Hold on.
milk, what about Ben Shapiro's sister?
Mr. Max, I don't think Max was saying that like his moral stance is necessarily the correct stance.
No, he just has.
But he has taken a
Yeah.
moral stance
Yeah.
and sticks to it. I
Yeah,
think
but
that's what he means.
that's a business for him. He's there for the money.
What?
Yeah, NSA.
Shapiro.
NSA gets sucked by
I
balls.
disagree.
Yeah, well,
Shapiro, he's not there for the money. His wife's fucking rich.
She's
He
a
is not
doctor.
there for the money.
Doctor.
Yeah, he's not there for the money. He's there because he is very, very proud of his Jewish heritage, and he's very, very tired of the way the current political leaning is anti-Semitic to some degree. And I got to give him props on that. He's standing up for what he believes in. Whether I agree or disagree with him does not matter. It's that he is educated, he's smart, and he knows how to talk, and he has a stance, and that's respect.
he can really fucking debate those fucking high schooler.
Did you see him at the Oxford Union?
No.
No, there you go. We'll go watch him take on fucking university students instead.
Well,
You know?
current
And
university
I saw that one where it was like the one chick's like, well, Britain didn't bomb any civilians in World War II, and everyone's
Yeah.
like,
That was awesome. He goes, his
Yeah.
best line in that one was he goes,
Yeah.
let's ask the citizens of Dresden. Oh, we can't. They're all dead.
yeah.
You know, it's like, there you go. You know, it's like,
More during D-Day, more French citizens died than Germans. So yeah, like doing like the whole doing the whole invasion of France. So yeah.
You can't prove it. There are no French citizens there. They're all enemies of the state.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
on vacation.
No,
Yeah.
but that's the nonsense that you hear from people. You know, it's like, oh, that didn't happen. You can't prove it. You weren't there. Well, you know what? The world didn't exist before 1973. Then I know it didn't exist because I wasn't there for it. It's like, what? Like,
There's people that think that World War II happened in the 70s. I saw it recently. They're like, what year did World War II start? And some like blonde chick, of course, was like, I don't know, like 1977. And then, of course, the guy's like, yes.
Yeah, no, that guy's my favorite guy.
Yeah, I love that
Asking
guy.
stupid questions and they give the wrong answer.
Yeah.
And he goes, correct.
Yeah.
Just reinforce.
I think
How many moons does Earth have? 4 exactly. Like he just fucking lets them be stupid. I love that.
I think the best thing I've seen of late is, and I'm using the term loosely, this black gentleman was giving a lecture on how Vikings were not white; they were from Africa.
Oh my
And he
god.
was saying this with a straight face. So I'm like, wait, what?
There's a not to get
and
too
hold
spicy.
on. So do I. I support the bombing of Dresden. It's fucking
That's
war. My wife is Japanese, and we both support the nuclear drops on Japan.
That's why.
Fuck
That's
off.
why people
It's
don't-
war. I'm going to win it, and I don't care how. You don't have to like it. The winners get to write history. Fuck off and die.
And
All
that's
right,
why we
I'm
said
gonna
that the good guy didn't win World War II.
We got to give L props.
What? Oh,
D&D didn't exist before 2014, according to WotC. So what the hell are they celebrating 50 years of in 2024? Fuck. Shit. All right, L wins that one.
That Michael Lewis talking about paranormal techniques. Are we sure it's not Pundit? He's casting spells on us?
oh, my- hey, as somebody who actually understands what pundits talking about when he does that, I still have some of my books back there. I stopped doing that when I grew. I mean, in the 90s, but
Men Who Stare at Goats.
what?
Good movie.
Goatsy?
Good book. Read the book.
Yeah.
The book, The Men Who Stare at Goats,
Yeah.
is fucking
Just
good.
don't watch Men Who Fuck Goats. That's a whole different movie.
Yeah,
You don't wanna see that one.
Starring Victor Gorchev.
That's what everybody who went to Afghanistan
Scottish.
always brings back. They're like, dude, you got to watch this video. And it's a dude walking up to a goat. I'm like, oh, I thought you were going to show me some war footage. Like, no.
No, actually, real quick. Speaking of that, one of my favorites that I saw, it was like just a night vision camera. So it's just like all white and black, and then you just see this little black line just go. You're like, really?
I'm sure. I'm
Go
sure
ahead.
we all have asshole friends that send us videos that we know we should not click on, but we do anyways because we take that. A couple of years ago, my friend sent me a video of monkey meets frog. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this about? And for like a good 5 minutes, you see this
I'm gonna bounce,
monkey using a
All
frog
right, Mr. Max, thanks for being here. Pop on in later, man.
using this frog as a enjoyment tool, and it kills the frog. It's I'm like after
No, a monkey fucking a frog would kill it.
yeah.
Okay,
I've seen worse
we are
than that.
no longer talking about anything you ever saw on YouTube anymore.
I
know.
found out that pigeons die when they have sex.
I
At
saw
least
you
the
with
one
a
I
chicken.
found did.
What the fuck? I know this is supposed
Can
to be
I
a
just-
weird rando stream, but what the fuck is happening here? Go ahead.
I've just been trying to kick out that Michael guy, and there's no option for me to ban him.
He's
Because I think
gone. You
he's-
did something right.
I've hit timeout, I've hit remove, all that sort of stuff, and he kept popping back. So I don't know how he was getting around it. I don't know if I should ban him.
Well, NSA.
Because I'm simul streaming. He keeps appearing on mine.
There's a way. I had that problem with somebody about 2 years ago, and they'll use the same username very close, but it's actually different accounts sometimes. But
Right.
what I would do is if I accidentally remove you, I'll bring you back. But I would do the whole. What I do is I report first, and then I hide user from channel.
I've done both of that. He shouldn't be appearing, but he is.
Yeah, I don't.
After I did it, he was still appearing on mine, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I've gone now.
I've gone to yours. I don't see it.
So what they can do is they can have the same name, but it's the user. You have to ban the username, so you
The
can't
display
tell.
name and the user are different.
Yeah, what you did is you removed the one username he had, but then he had another username with that same display name.
Right.
So I've had a couple, not in the last couple of years, but I've had a couple like that.
I had my first spammer not that long ago. I thought it was awesome. I finally made it as a YouTuber. I got a hater and a spammer.
I think we all have haters.
I don't. No, everyone loves me.
You don't get the automatic downvote on your videos?
No, I know. Nobody ever does anything to me, Max.
I got my first block on Twitter.
Nice.
Oh,
Wait a minute,
nice.
who blocked you?
A guy who works for Green Ronin.
Oh. Well, that's because you called it Ronin and not Ronin like the weeboos they are.
Ronin.
Ronin.
I don't know.
So what did you say? What did you do? Why are you bad?
You know that bit about 3 or 4 weeks ago when this page has been removed, blah blah blah, and there was that retro clone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I did a video basically picking that apart. On Twitter, I posted that up on Twitter. Somebody called me far right for doing that on Twitter. Right. To which I replied, well, I'm in favor. I'm happy with our NHS. I'm in favor of same-sex marriage. You do what you want. And I'm in favor. This was one of the things I picked up, and I'm in favor of abortion up to a sensible time.
Well, that was your mistake.
And he then replied, "So you agree with forced birth? Then you're a far right Nazi."
Yep. Yeah. No, okay. So have you guys not yet figured out that Twitter or X is
they're assholes.
just cartoon crayon eating fucking short bus riders? Like,
and this was a guy who works for Green Ronin. That shows you what they're like.
I've got some stories about Green Ronin involving the basic expert. I won't tell out of school, but they're not that progressive as they make themselves out to be.
What?
Anyway,
super lefty progressives are hypocrites? No.
Yeah.
That's dog whistle talk, sir. I wish Mr. Max had stuck around. I wanted to ask him if he was going to go see the Marvels just so I could get his review. Who else here wouldn't love to see Mr. Max Boivin's review of the Marvels?
I'll buy his ticket.
Yeah.
Watching it and live stream it, like Jesus.
He might still be in chat here. Oh, he said he won't.
So I actually went to go see that movie today with my daughter. We went to go see 5 Nights of What the Fuck Was I Drinking with Freddie.
Mr. Max.
This is why I love this fucking crazy person.
And then she's like, I want to go see Miss Marvel. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I sat through it with her. I don't know. I just kind of dozed off. She enjoyed it because there was a cat in it. Then there became multiple cats, and she loved it. And so I'm like, as long as my daughter is 13 is happy, whatever. I mean, I tortured my parents and grandparents with having to watch dumb movies when I was a kid. So
that doesn't excuse it. That's just an explanation, man.
I'm not saying excuse. I'm just saying I saw it.
There's very little movies these days that I'm interested in. There's one that I want to watch. I might watch that, but there's one with Michael Fassbender that just came out. It's called The Killer, and it's based on like a French comic that I used to read. It's really good. It's like about like an assassin hitman guy, which I love that shit. So I'm really looking forward to that one. But that's about it.
I'm just waiting for them to film Cocaine Owl there.
Yeah.
Cocaine
You did. Why?
No, I want Cocaine Bear, but it's Bear as
I've
in,
been
Bear as
joking.
in the gay community. Like, like you, Bear.
So when I first, I told
Like
this
a leather
story-
daddy.
I told this story on my stream the other day. When I first started getting onto the internet stuff, I used Bipolar Bear as the moniker because I really fucking love that character from The Tick. Right? I must fight crime, but some days I can't get out of bed. Bipolar Bear. And then I found it very quickly. No one was reading it as Bipolar Bear.
No.
They were reading it as Bipolar Bear.
So yeah, you're a bisexual furry.
I think I'll change my name.
Yeah.
The one movie I wanted to see that came out was called The Holdovers, as Paul Giamatti or something like that in it. And the theaters around me are just not fucking showing that movie. I'm like, what the fuck, people?
Real
Okay,
quick,
is there rest of that story, Connell? Or are you just
No, that's about it. That's about it.
Drink more beer, sir.
I did want to point this out. Speaking of like getting blocked or whatever, since we've started this stream, I've gained 1 and lost 1 subscriber.
Oh god, I didn't even look at mine. Anytime I have anything to do with this
Hey.
channel, I gain and lose like this fucking staccato.
I'm plus
rhythm.
one, isn't I'm plus one.
So hold on. Actually, since we're talking about that, really, this is about the Veterans Day stream, and this is about donating to the Wounded Warrior Project. At the same time, it's not hard to click a subscribe button for all these weirdos that are in here. I'm gonna take the time. I got to bring the YouTube page up, but I'm gonna add all of their channels to the description. All you have to do is click on it and mash the subscribe button. They deserve your subscriptions. So stand by while I add all that nonsense. It's gonna take me a minute or 5.
I don't know if I told you this, Bear, but Baron can verify this. I was joking around for as soon as the Cocaine Bear movie came out, I said on Table Breakers, I'm going to make a module of this. I'm going to make a module running through Pathfinder. I've been working on it. I kind of set it to the side for a while. Went backward. Then you had a gentleman on your show that made one, a Cocaine Albert. I just took my notes and just fucking threw them across the room. Like, I quit. Somebody beat me out the gate.
That's why you don't say it until you're already done with it.
Well, Cocaine Albert came around because they made a T-shirt, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the T-shirt turned into them hacking the game Honey Height. He does, and I love it. By the way, it gets my little bear lipstick hard.
Happy.
The one thing to remember
back.
is that they didn't do just Cocaine Bear. They've also done Cocaine Shark
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
Cocaine Cougar.
Yeah, that's called Mockbusters. These guys are fucking insane.
I got something to say about that. They've been complaining in Florida because all the people who are like transporting cocaine to Florida, a lot of times it gets into the water, and they've had instances where the sharks are actually eating the cocaine and just getting tweaked out and acting
I'd
like
be more, I'd be more scared. I'd be more scared with cocaine honey badger. I think that would be entertaining.
So, Cocaine Cougar. Cocaine Cougar already existed like, I don't know, like years ago. It's called
Yeah.
Sex in the City.
When I was
Oh, Jesus, right there.
when I was a bouncer, we used to have cocaine cougars every Saturday night. We had to get taken out of the fucking place, man.
Oh my god, you're about that close to just seeing soda come just bad.
Wow, all I heard was you were about
Cocaine
this close
Badger.
to come. That's all I heard because there was a clip in his stream. So I don't know what he
Cocaine
said.
Cougar is just documentary on the villages in Florida.
Yeah. I need a good cougar.
I thought you were more into the mountain lions these days.
No.
He said he was into mounting lions.
Yeah,
Oh,
one half a
sorry, like
dozen of the other.
mountain lions. I get those two confused so easily.
Who am I
Cocaine
missing?
Raccoon.
Oh, Bruce came on.
Wait. Stream crack raccoon.
So the old Geek Bear, Victor, Hungar, Connell, Baron, right?
Gaming with ADHD.
Yep, yep. Bruce, who else? Mr. Maxie's in here. I'm missing somebody.
Patty.
Patty.
Oh, well, yeah, but Patty doesn't do YouTube.
Carries.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
No,
No, fuck. We got plenty of those in Canada, sir.
I was watching something on Canada, what province did they make all drugs legal?
British Columbia, they decriminalized them. They didn't make them legal. They decriminalized. Now they have dispensaries. It's fucking stupid.
So it's like the Netherlands now.
Hey Victor, what's the name of his channel?
I don't think he has a YouTube channel. He's just on mine a lot.
Okay. Then I'm gonna leave it
He
at
might
this.
have, but I can't remember what it is.
I'll leave it at this, and everybody can subscribe to you weirdos out there. It's now in the description. So
I swear, the only time
Ooh, I'm all fancy and stuff. I'm in the description.
You know what I love about Hungar?
I pick
You know
up-
what I love about Hungar? Hungar is like this fucking celebrity linchpin for all of us. We all love Hungar. Hungar shows up real good, and he treats us like we're the big deal. You know what I mean? Like this, you guys have no idea what a good man Hungar is.
Because you guys are the big deal. I'm just the slack ass, man.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking Hill William Santa Claus. You are the big deal.
William.
Hey, don't take that name in vain.
You be quiet.
That's the one thing I've never quite understand about the subs and whatnot. The moment I just like rail on something, be a complete dick to somebody that doesn't really have it coming, I pick up like 4 or 5 people.
Yes, because rage sells, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
why do you think we did it for so long?
like
And
the
still
only
do.
people I feel like the only people I kind of want to go after. I started going after them. I writing down notes of things I want to say. Then I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make Shauna look like a better person than me. Do I really want to go there?
Can you guys explain this to me? Because I've had nothing but neutral or positive experiences with Shauner. What is the hate on him for?
I don't hate on Sean.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like
I can answer that. So Shauner has a very puritanical take. Now he's allowed to have that. He has a very
don't.
No, I'm not puritanical. No. He's the admitted 1%er. And everybody else sucks. So he does all these reaction videos. Again, I don't care.
Yeah.
In fact, he used to come on here, and I generally agree with what he's trying to say. But he gets so puritanical with it, and if you don't fully understand his dry humor, which I think he's lost some of the humor, I think he's just being an old grumpy fucking man now. It's not even fun to watch. How do I say this? Okay, dude, you made 700 videos about how people don't role play properly. He's got his book, which I actually contributed to. I don't know if he put any in there, but I contributed to it. I get it, but he eats his own, and to me, that's what SJWs do. They eat their own. Me calling you out is one thing, but I would never make a reaction video to you about your Let's Play live stream just to call you out as play 2 hours of it and say that you're a shitty whatever. I just wouldn't do that. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to. He absolutely has the right to, but he's becoming it's over the top now. It's no longer fun. It's now just like, dude, you've gone off the deep end. And he blocked everybody multiple times. Like I'm not going to hang around with anybody that's a D&D adventure gamer. And he blocked us all for the longest time. And then he decided to unblock us. I don't know why.
Then he blocked us again.
Oh, did he block again? Okay,
I'm
fine.
blocked again. I think I've been blocked from the get-go, though.
Okay. Anyway, it's just it's tiresome and over the top. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's no longer fun and interesting. It's just ridiculous now.
All right, fair. I've never experienced it, but all of that just sounds like a big.
Can I say something real quick? My greatest and most defining moment was when Shauner did a flame video about my channel.
He's done it twice about me.
It was the greatest. He called Shadow
Control Freak. Yeah.
He called Justin a waste of space. I mean, he just went off on everybody because one day he was streaming Skyrim. And
just in love, yeah.
We were doing a reaction on his live stream for fun, and I said that he was playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. And he lost his fucking mind. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, I get it. I understand now. Thank you. I wanted an explanation. I received it.
good.
No rebuttal from me on this one. Yes, that's what I meant about puritanical, Curtis, was when this guy says something's puritanical. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
really?
if
I've
I'm
heard you
talking
make
on my
blanket statements about if you're like I've seen.
yeah,
you
but
do
he's not making reaction videos to my channel where I talk about playing 5e. So
Fair.
yeah.
No, I'm not arguing you guys. I'm not rebutting you guys. I'm not
Also-
like I accept your answers.
Sean apparently got mad at me because I called him old, and he called me ageist, and then he responded by calling me a chucklehead, and I'm like,
that's
you're
right.
you're kind of making my point with those boomer tier insults, you old man. That's like a little rascal's insult. Fuck off.
I forgot about the chucklehead thing. That was funny.
That's good. I like that.
He's going after me. He went after me last week's show, saying going after me because I do play parties. Because I'm a professional DM. I'm sorry, I found a way to make a fucking buck.
Well,
Johnny says
I agree.
that
You
the
shouldn't have the
DM
internet.
shouldn't be allowed to have
Connell.
internet.
Yeah, I'm with him on that. You shouldn't be allowed to have the internet, Connell. You're clearly a cancer on society, sir. Clearly.
My goal has been met.
A threat to right-thinking people everywhere, sir. That's
He's
what
a stain
How
on
far
the
right are we
underwear of
talking?
justice.
I mean, how far right? I mean, am I far right enough to make
correct,
Justin
but
happy?
that's right. Let me translate that for the Americans. Right sometimes means correct, as opposed to a political leaning.
What?
Bull.
That's bullshit.
And hey, I'll put in my 2 cents worth on Shauner. I've only ever heard about him from Legion of Myth, and Max usually kind of complaining about him.
I haven't said that much about him.
I said kind of complaining. It's fine. I'm not saying you were like trashing his entire channel or whatever. Anyways, and since he's shown up at Bears, we did the Star Trek game, and everybody's like, "Okay, go check it out." And Shauner did a reaction video to it. I went and I watched it, and it's like, okay, it was fine. Like
he actually seemed to like that game compared to what he said about others.
He did.
He loves Jade.
It was really funny watching him complain about stuff that were just like, just watch the video. You keep skipping over all of the stuff that you want to see. So, but I mean, we've seen him a couple of times since. He's shown up in the 4-Color Cafe in the chat. Not all of his takes are very good, but
no,
he used to show up over here. I don't know why he's talking. I don't have him blocked unless he has me blocked again. Maybe there's some animosity between us or something that I don't know about. The thing is, I've said it even before he blocked. I like what he's trying to sell as a how do you say it? A goal. It's kind of like that whole Superman thing. None of us can be Superman, but if we can try to reach that goal, that's an attainable goal. But then when somebody can't be Superman, you don't shit on them. That's where I started having the problems where it's like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. You're shitting on literally everybody in our circle. And I get this whole idea, well, I do what I want. Nobody's free from me. And usually when I hear that from people, that's usually people that just want to be assholes 24/7 and want to be able to get away with it.
Who gives a fuck? If we just ignore him,
right?
Who cares?
And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing quite a bit. Although again, the videos still pop up. He's made I know he's made at least 2 videos about Legion of Myth back in the day, and that's actually how I kind of met Shauner. I was like, okay, you have this take, that's fine. Hell, Aaron the Pedantic, he made a video about us. I've met a lot of people by making videos about us. That's cool, but at some point, you just gotta let it go.
I have nothing against him, but then again, I have nothing against anybody except for Condor.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying I have anything against him. It was just like, oh, okay. There's plenty of other people in chat that are way more annoying. Like that one guy that was in here earlier. Screw that guy.
Did you block Justin?
Victor, screw that guy.
I haven't seen him on the chat.
No, I have a type and.
Crazy bad shit isn't your type? You're not gay.
Justin, are you
well,
sure?
I want to say this really quick. Max, thank you for having me on your show. I hope you guys are able, with next 24 hours, to make the goal that
we have time.
I have to bow out. I got to be up in like 6 hours to go hang out with Briz for another 8 hours.
Enjoy your Pathfinder game.
Yeah, I enjoy my Pathfinder game. I'm going to show myself out really quick if that's cool.
Absolutely.
This coming Sunday, we're doing a double feature. We're reviewing Dog Soldiers. It's a werewolf movie based in Scotland. Then for the rest of the month of November, we are doing, because of Veterans Day, we are doing military movies. I think we're starting off with the Mel Gibson movie, When We Were Soldiers.
We Were Soldiers.
Yeah. Then we're going to take it from there. So for the whole month, the rest of the month of November, and probably into December.
You're not doing the Peanuts movie for Thanksgiving?
Peanuts.
The Penis
Peanuts.
movie? That doesn't never go down at all.
Penis
Charlie Brown, man.
I'm just saying it doesn't never go down at all.
No, I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. I might do that. Whatever. But for the next all rest of November, it's going to be nothing but American military movies. I think we might do Forrest Gump. I might pick Forrest Gump just to fuck with people. But other than that, y'all have a good rest of the night.
You too. Thank you for being here.
See you, Connor.
Bye.
Brian, I do want to hang out with you at some time because I have ADD and you have ADHD.
You can be the Alphabet channel.
The Alphabet channel.
Yeah.
Alphabet.
Let's try to stick on one topic as long as we can. I'll start the stop clock.
Invite me. I'm OCD. I'll be right in there. I'll balance you out. And maybe we can make some words together out of all our letters.
These Scrabble letters work.
I'm LMNOP because I'm
he is
part of the crowd.
And Victor's left, right, back, front, A, B, right trigger button.
Yeah,
So
I'm whatever. Depends on the hour, on the time of day. I don't know.
I want to say a British joke, but I just don't have the time nor the energy.
All right. Well, then with that, I hope you have a good night, good day, good morning. Fuck it is now.
See you, Connell.
Wow, this for 6 hours already. I thought I was going to have to play a bunch of video games to fill in this nonsense.
I do not realize how many assholes you know.
Yeah. I did
Do
a
you have
12-hour
any idea
stream
how
with
many
guy
assholes
recently.
you've met because of me? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's true. I'm only here because Brian introduced us.
I've been waiting to do this since last year.
Wow, you're pent up, aren't you?
That's what she said.
I'm like Santa Claus. I only get to come once a year.
Winter Willow makes a really good point, guys. We should pay attention to that point.
A lot of streams you guys do is a lot of going after each other and the way to play games, the way to life. So it seems like genres are much different.
I think the difference is that we do it hopefully in a good-natured way for the most part with each other, whereas it feels like what I'm hearing about Sean is that he's attacking people, and that's maybe the difference.
We do it good-naturedly as friends to each other's face. I disagree with Max to his fucking face. I don't listen to
even
what he
privately
says.
in Discord. He disagrees with me.
Well, but also,
Well, I think that's one of the points I have with. I mean, I've been sat quiet while you've been talking about Shauna, but the first time I ever encountered him, it was in a chat, and he said something that was objectively bullshit, and I told him so. His instant reaction was block, and I think that's my problem. My problem with him is he won't engage. He won't. He'll make reactions. He will make videos that run people down, but he won't actually properly engage with people he disagrees with.
Yeah, he'll block you, but then make a reaction video and then call you all sorts of names because you vaguely disagree with him about how to do role playing, and it's like, okay.
And also usually these chats are concept based.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put in our opinions, but we're just talking about, hey, somebody brought up this theme, or it's a quote unquote professional in the industry. I'm sorry, they're fair game, but when you're just doing a reaction to another channel, I don't like what he said, and attacking it that way, that's where I think a lot of the issues are.
We all put ourselves out on the internet, so we are all fair game.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But you've got to be willing to take it and discuss it rather than just go, click and then I am.
Well, Victor's always willing to take it.
Yeah, I'm definitely fair game.
And look, there's nothing wrong with having strong opinions about a hobby you love. There's nothing wrong with being a fan, which is short for fanatic. That's why, when people are like, you should just let people play how they want to. I've literally never gone to somebody's table and flipped it over. I've never stopped anybody from playing the game. Now, am I the type of person, look, it's not just on YouTube. I have no problem doing this shit in the real world, being like, that's retarded how you're playing. I have no problem saying that. Is it going to stop you from playing the game? If it did, I win. If it doesn't, well, then who cares? Let's just move on with life.
Max, we all know that you don't care how people play the game as long as they're enjoying themselves.
I think that's
it is a truism in the Church of Max Liao. It is the first demandment that basically, as long as you're all having fun, you're playing the game right. We all know that. Oh, and demandment number 2, dwarf wizards are the greatest.
Well,
Yeah,
demandment number
exactly.
2. No, demandment number 1 is a cop-out answer. That's why I don't like it, but it is generally true. Yes. No, my issue, like with my Puritanism, comes from the fact that, and I'm saying fact, that WotC destroyed what D&D was. It made its own brand of it. It should have called it WotC Fantasy Role Playing
pushing a
First
button.
Edition.
It's like
I
a
know
fucking
you
button.
you
can just
did.
push it and watch his head go. It's like beep, 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 beep,
It's
beep,
going to
beep,
keep
beep.
going. If you're going to take something like, let's use Battlestar Galactica. I don't like the new Battlestar Galactica either. Starbuck is a fucking dude. Boomer is a black dude. And if you're going to recast it right. You know,
All right,
that's
calm down, Max Bogan.
IPs matter, and I don't like when people change IPs. And WotC definitely changed the IP. And so that
Victor got his ass kicked by his cat. That was awesome.
Yeah, jeez.
that wasn't his ass, but
I love you, Victor.
Yeah,
The-
I mean,
the-
who doesn't,
the-
right?
The other thing is that
Okay.
we agree on a lot of points, and there are a lot of points we do not agree on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can come together and have a discussion.
Yeah.
About our agreements and disagreements.
Absolutely.
question for you, Baron.
And we can say "fuck you," you're wrong without the other person getting all butthurt and whiny and making a hit
Oh, you
video
know how
again.
many
wrong, Baron.
chickens
Yeah,
I've
you
killed because you angered me and I had to go cut the heads off of them just to feel better. Watch
And
them
we
flop
can
around
make-
a little bit.
And we can make fun of each other without taking it personally.
Yeah.
So, Baron, if there's many times I've bitched about Pathfinder and so forth, has that stopped you from playing the game?
No.
Damn, then I still have work to do.
You know what's really
We'll get
weird?
there one day.
Ever since I announced I was going to be using Pathfinder Beginner Box for my home game instead of OSE, that video got fucking shit tons of downvotes.
Really?
Holy fuck! Like I'm like, what the fuck? People really hate Pathfinder. Holy moly!
It's
With good reason.
it's the reason is they want you to play that 2D12 system.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
I didn't say it. I didn't.
No,
say it.
you're good, Brian. You're good. You're good.
But by the way, Max, since Bear brought up Wizard Dwarfs, so X2, the 2 interviews that are on the Kickstarter are the yours and me and John, or John and me, what I should say. But during the natural ones stream, I asked, and I acted very serious, but I asked McQueese, it's like, so I have this friend, Max, he really loves playing Dwarven Wizards. Does X allow you to play like Magic Dwarves? And he
I know.
answered it all seriously, and it was fucking awesome.
But yeah, but you know, his rune style dwarven magic or whatever, fine, it is what it is. You know, but if the dwarves are receiving a +1 Constitution bonus to resist that nonsense for every 3.5 points of Constitution, I would say that they require and have a 20% chance of all magic items failing. I think that they don't do magic. I mean, that doesn't translate. Now, Curtis Thomas here says, Gary Gygax is dead. Fine. TSR is a failed company. Agreed. And to the victor go the spoils. Right. But if you're going to pick up an IP, you do it right, or you rename it. And that's for every. That's not just D&D. That's for every IP to me. You either respect the traditions that came before it, or you fuck off. It's that simple. Now, with that said,
Spurg traits come to the fore.
No. I've got one for him.
oh Jesus fuck.
Then look at Earth Dawn. It has been within the same company, yet you have publicly said that the latest editions that have come out were nothing but trash.
No. I said the latest edition, 4th edition, is the most playable, but it has one glaring weakness. No, it's not most playable, most consistent, but it has one glaring weakness. It's 3rd edition that ruined Earth Dawn, not 4th edition. 3rd edition, when it homogenized the disciplines, it ruined Earth Dawn. 4th edition just carried on that trend. And 3rd edition was actually done by Red Brick, which, to be fair, is pretty much the modern FASA anyway. So, yes, a 30-25 purist in Battletech. Yes, I am. And by the way, just for new folks who are popping in here, because I'm seeing our numbers grow, we are doing a 24-hour charity stream for the Wounded Warrior Project. I'm going to put the donation link into chat. Please don't super chat. Please. I was going to, but apparently, there we go. Please donate to the Wounded Warrior instead. Wounded Warrior Project is the charity we support here. We're trying to raise $1,000. I think we can do that today. We did it last year. We should easily do that today. So, anyway, as far as the Earthdawn thing goes, I'm not gonna dive down that rabbit hole, but there are changes that were made to it that were annoying. But the biggest, there's really only one that changed the flavor of the game, that changed how it played and took it out of what it was. And to use comparison, if you like basic D&D and don't like advanced Dungeons & Dragons because you only like Race's class, I respect you. I understand that. I think that Race's class, I like it because I want to give a little bit more flavor out there, but I still think that they should be limited in what those classes can be because it makes sense for what those races represent. They should not be humans in funny skin suits. So all the old TSR versions of D&D I like. Second edition AD&D being the one I have the most experience in. But if I were to actually take one to a desert island, it would be Rule Cyclopedia. And that's Race's class.
I heard Earthdawn and I fell asleep. Can someone just talk about Shadowrun so I can get a nap, please?
Yes.
Well, not yet.
Lost World came out about 4 years ago. Max is a big fan of it.
By the way, I don't respect your opinion, and I'm gonna make a reaction video to it. And
so let me just finish the Earthdawn thing. The Earthdawn thing was the homogenization. That's the one thing that across all the editions, that's the main thing. Some people quibble, well, oh my god, can't think. The step change, because used to be step 14 was a D20, D4. Now it's like 2D12 or something like that. That's such a minor change. I don't care. And if you look at basic D&D, if you look at first edition D&D, if you look at the various editions of basic D&D, they all have minor changes in it. That happens. But they all stayed within the spirit of the game. WotC destroyed the spirit of the game with that regard.
I
need more coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
This might be a very hot take, and people might fucking roast me for it. But I think 5th edition was actually kind of a return to a degree to the spirit of the game, at least mechanics-wise. But then they ruined it by catering to the wrong.
Until you bring back some sort of race class limitation, I can't agree with you.
Yeah, I want to quote Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder when he's talking to Ben Stiller. Victor, you just went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
What game did you start with, Victor?
Back in the day, Shadowrun.
Okay, well, what D&D game did you start with?
3.5. That was my first D&D.
See, that makes sense. Anybody who started with 3 sees that as how it should be.
No, but I also play old school D&D.
You do. No, I get that, but what I'm saying is you don't have the heartburn with the modern version as most, not all, but most of the older school players do.
No, but my point is that 5th edition, from the outset, was their attempt to kind of like cater to the grognards.
I don't see it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't to cater to.
They brought back some aspects.
Yeah, some aspects. And there was, I'm not saying it was perfect, but
I think initially, but then it's got out of hand.
But the culture changed, and that's like the main problem.
Aaron the Relentless is exactly right. That's exactly what I was going to say. 5e is just admitting that 4e sucked and that they shouldn't have ditched 3e to go to 4e. And the only reason that they did 4e is because they were trying to get out of the OGL. That was their first attempt to do it.
What I heard about 5e while it was being made by the couple people I know that aren't on the inside, but they're closer to the inside than me, was that 5e was trying to bring back the role-playing aspect. They're like, Max, you'll love the game because it's bringing back the role-playing elements that 3rd and especially 4th kind of lost. And I played it one time and said, okay, it's still not Dungeons and Dragons though, and I don't need another random game system out there for me to play. And that's all it is to me. It's not a bad system. 5e, and we said this at the beginning of the stream, 5e is not a bad game if it didn't have the fucking ampersand on it.
And you want to play it.
Yeah,
5e, if you keep it to like the 3 core books and you play it in a classic way, it doesn't play that much differently for me than fucking old school essentials, which is BX.
Only if you play at in my opinion, only if you play at low levels.
Yeah, of course, but
get to about level 5, it just goes. Bleh.
Yeah, well, for me, in my experience, around level 10, it gets fucking crazy. But yeah,
I should bring Garth on sometime, because Garthon is one of the people that I still talk to who had this problem, and I've talked to a couple of people with this, and they're like, I tried to run using 5e. It's what we termed at the time 5th edition with AD&D sensibilities. And the players revolted Like, I don't want those limitations from old school D&D. They were stupid then and they're stupid now kind of nonsense. And I'm like, then don't play D&D. Go find some other shitty game to play, because they're not supposed to be just humans in funny skin suits. They're actually supposed to be meaningful reasons for those different races. And people are like, no, I like to play an elf because I'm a human in real life. So I want to play an elf, but still be, have every coolness of being human. It's like, then you're doing it wrong. And I have no problem telling somebody you're doing it wrong. Yes, you're having bad wrong fun. Fuck off.
If you're fucking up playing a dwarf, I'm gonna have issue with you, because my first character was a dwarf, not a dwarf fighter, not a dwarf cleric, a dwarf, and I like that about the old school D&D, where races back then were the class. And if you're going to play a dwarf, you have to play a dwarf, not a short human with a beard, because I'm already a short human with a beard.
Like right here is like, again, I still say it's an MMO, but for the people who argue against it, people didn't like that the classes were given specific roles. 4E was very playable. Mind you, it's heavily miniature and battle tactics driven, which is why I already thought 3rd edition was too far in that realm. And then 4th edition just exponentially went higher. I don't want battle maps in my role-playing games. Or let me phrase it. I don't want battle maps necessary in my role-playing games. And in 4E, and I dare say in 3E, they're pretty much expected. You have to use them.
Now, I will say that we played a 5e game for about a year and a half and had a lot of fun with it. It was a lot of fun as a role-playing game. I mean, we only got up to like 7th level, which, yeah, and I agree with Max there. But yeah, 5e is an enjoyable game, and it's a lot of fun. And I like 5e because it is bringing newer people into the hobby.
Yeah, but it brought too many new people. Like masses don't make things better. And I've argued this. I've had people get really angry with me about this, but I don't care. Masses don't make things better.
No,
WoW is the worst MMO ever done, and precisely because it catered to the masses.
But what I want to say about that, and I agree and disagree with you on that point, we're going to get some shitheads regardless, no matter what. But we are going to get some quality players and people interested in the game. I think the worst thing that happened to D&D was Critical Role, in my opinion.
No, I saw the people coming in even before Critical Role, and I didn't realize it at the time because it's too far up. What's that? What's that? Go ahead.
Is that the word? Exacerbated it to a degree?
Exaggerated it, yeah.
Yeah.
Exacerbated.
Exacerbated. That's what I meant.
Oh, exacerbated?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, to a degree. But there was like multiple factors that came into play when it comes to the current like 5e culture.
Yeah, and I don't think it's any one thing. And I think any of us, if we say this is the one thing that broke D&D or one thing that broke gaming, I don't know. It's like the reason, why did I get, since this is supposed to be about the Wounded Warrior Project, why did I get out of the Air Force? Well, it depends on what conversation I'm having with somebody. I'll be like, yeah, that's one of the reasons I got out. There are 100 reasons why I got out of the Air Force. I know some are more poignant than others, but ultimately I got out of the Air Force for about 100 different reasons. And I just looked at it and said, all these things are stacking up to say it's time for me to leave. And it is. And so I see the same thing with modern gaming or modern D&D. There's 100 reasons why I can hate WotC Dungeons and Dragons, but there are also some good things. I like advantage, disadvantage. I think that's a really simple system that helps, say, instead of having to count up modifiers constantly, like it's a +1, +2, -5, and the modifiers are always +2 or +5. I like that simplicity, and I think it's meaningful.
The fact is, our version of D&D, whatever our version, well, talk about old school, sort of 1st edition, basic, 2nd edition, it still exists in little pockets all over the place, have been brought together by this wonderful thing, the internet, the same internet that has allowed other people who we may not agree with or whatever to get into the hobby. Yes, we may complain about them, but we've also got our own little places where we can play. And I'm playing. I mean, today I'm going to be playing 9 hours of what I consider to be D&D in the form of Old School Essentials. Mm-hmm. It's still, and that sort of thing is still being made. Traditional D&D is still there in just slightly a different name. We've got all those, whatever retro clone you like, it's out there. It's still being played, and I've got my. I know you hate the word community, but I've got my own little community.
No, we talked about the beginning. I don't hate community. Yeah. I think community is a word we can use.
Yeah, it's a good show.
I mean, we have our own little communities. I mean, it's not one big community.
Sure.
It's our little
Confederations.
Confederation.
Confederation.
and let's say I'm going to play 9 hours of OSE later today, starting in about an hour and a half. If anyone wants to come and join us, if you want to break from this from this stream, sorry, Max.
Well, and one thing real quick, you don't even necessarily have to do OSE. It's a book. Just play original D&D. It's still there.
Well, my point is, it's a current book.
Yeah.
It's been published in the last few years.
And that's one of the things I will agree with in terms of like writing and so forth. Look, somebody got angry with me a couple weeks ago when I said that second edition is my game, and one of the reasons I don't want to do first edition is I don't want to have to translate High Gygaxian. Not that I can't do it, not that I haven't done it. I don't want to do it. And you know what? Second edition is at least written in English.
Yeah.
I like High Gygaxian. I mean, it taught me a lot of long words. It taught me how to use a dictionary when I was 11 years old.
Fair enough.
You learn math from playing D&D.
And I learned all the synonyms for prostitute.
Harlot, hoer.
And so there's nothing wrong with it, except for me, there's nothing wrong with any of the editions of the game. I just wish the WotC versions weren't labeled D&D, because when I think D&D, there is a certain feel, and yes, system matters. Like, I'll probably argue with Sean sometime tonight when it comes to talking about, if we talk about Savage Rifts versus Palladium Rifts. Well, Palladium Rifts is the only Rifts. I'm not even a Rifts guy. I don't even care that much. I do other games, but Savage Rifts is not Rifts. It's inspired by Rifts. It's Rifts-like, it has Rifts concepts in it, but it's not Rifts, because Rifts requires the Palladium rules. Otherwise, it just does not feel the same. Juicers, Crazies, Borgs, even the magic doesn't work the same there. You don't have the same chaoticness that you have in the Palladium game, so therefore it just can't be Palladium. Now, if you want to say, hey, I run a Rifts game and I use Shadowrun rules, okay, you run a Rifts like Shadowrun game, cool. I'm into that. Oh, I run a Rifts like Savage Worlds game, great, gets the word of Palladium out, but Palladium is the only real Rifts game. Modern necessities. Buy Modern Necessities for Old School Essentials. Geek, you can have guns in your Old School Essentials games. And how do you not have that already?
and real quick, I do want to argue against L's comment. He says, cowards are afraid to give WotC money for the old books. They would rather support OSR plagiarists. I'm going to disagree with that, because number one, you can't copyright or patent the rules. Okay. And most of the OSR stuff is either modifying those rules to make a new set system, or it's rewriting how those rules are presented in such a way that they're usable. People talk all the time about how the old books are, the High Gygaxian. I still don't understand what people mean by that, but whatever. Read more, I guess.
There is a point to say we already had that with Beckme, because Beckme was very clear and easy to learn.
Oh, and is the best to get somebody new to start.
Absolutely. The only problem I've got with Beckme is my old books fell apart many, many years ago. I'd love to buy myself a nice new shiny set that's not print on demand, that's not supporting Wizards of the Coast, but I can't. So I've bought OSE instead.
I want to bring something up about the new.
Well, no, let Victor go first. He's been trying to say
something. I want to say,
OSR
literally started because those WotC books weren't easily available.
That is true.
And people wanted like the clones and stuff. Also, there's no reason why you can't mix and match. I won this, so together with Old School Essentials, together with Keep on the Borderlands, plus together with Return to the Keep on the Borderlands, which is for second edition. So I'm literally mixing like 3 different systems, or 4 different systems together, basically, to like run my game. So yeah, I mean that's like the beauty of those old school things. You can grab rules and whatever from different systems. So
the other problem with a lot of the old systems is the simple fact that a lot of us older nerds have reached that age where mortgages are just about being paid off, kids are being palmed off to go and work and that sort of thing. So we've got a little bit of disposable income, and that is why the prices of buying a lot of our old stuff have shot up in the last few years. I would love to have all my old collection back in good, pristine condition. I simply can't afford it.
Makes sense.
That's also
Can't afford it. There's
Hungar,
too many people like me bidding on them on eBay.
I want to say one thing that I dislike a lot about 5e, and I have to get this off of my chest. Drow are not playable fucking races, and they're evil.
Yep.
Orcs are evil. Quit changing the way the game was played. Where with we have enough playable races in the game that we don't have to add monsters.
Well, that started with second edition, unfortunately, and ever since that was brought into second edition, I struggled because there's always some table that I was sitting at had some dumbass Drow player character, and with the Game Master gave me some stupid excuse. Could they be player character? I thought it was until the Drow handbook where they
Fritz did it.
Unearthed Arcana for first edition AD&D.
But then they still have to be evil there. I thought it wasn't until second edition where they could be good, chaotic good because of Alestra or whatever fucking name.
It said most Drow evil, even Unearthed Arcana.
Oh, okay.
Allowed a little bit of lip service to that.
Yeah, because player characters are player characters. But I have like no problem with like letting monsters be PCs. I love half orcs. I like the idea of playing whatever, but it does. You can still curate it, like just because I'm like running a game in the Forgotten Realms doesn't mean that I'm gonna allow like a party of gnolls. So
I think as long as you bring some personality to them, and as long as you respect that race's position in the world, that's one of my issues with the Good Drow, is that they were created as monsters. They were meant to be the thing of nightmare for young elves growing up. I often heard it said that they were the surface elves use tales of the Drow to frighten young elves into behaving. It was that sort of thing. They were meant to be absolutely vile.
Yeah.
And I mean, I played a recent game of Shadow of the Demon Lord. Saxius ran it, and all three of us played goblins. And poor Saxius got absolutely tormented because all three of us who were playing it lent into the idea that goblins just simply didn't understand the ideas, the human empathy and compassion, and organization and predictability, and we just let ourselves go completely. We portrayed ourselves as being nasty little buggers, but we didn't really know we were being nasty because we were goblins. We were trying to think like goblins. We were just being very erratic. And there was some little sort of a bit of brotherly bonding between us, but still we'd stick pins in each other.
There were shenanigans going on in that game.
Absolute shenanigans. Yes,
but
it was fantastic fun. It was fantastic. Yeah. We were nasty. In D&D terms, we were evil creatures, but that's only looking from a human perspective.
That's the thing. If I'm playing like a half orc, I fully expect for like the random farmer to like give me the side eye or even run away in fear. I actually want that. That's why I'm playing the half orc.
Coming through. That's all that is. That's your personal racism.
That's the problem, that people want to play like all these like monster races and stuff, but they don't want to deal with like the actual consequences of that.
Well, and then they even retcon, because if you remember, tieflings were half demon.
Yeah.
Now they're just half something else.
And that's my gripe about it, is like back in the day, if somebody played a half orc, or God forbid you let a drow in your party or as a player character, there was animosity toward that character in the game. From, you're playing a drow, you don't walk into a city like, I'm a good drow. Yeah, the guards see you walking up to the city and they're going to fill you full of arrows first and then ask how you're doing.
In that Shadow of the Demon Lord game, we were raiding poor farmers and getting crossbow bolts pinged at us because it was like, goblins, get out of my damn fields!
Exactly.
The only reason that you Grogs hate Drow is because you all had to deal with the fucking Twist clones, and like that's literally it. That's why you all get salty against Drow. It's not because Drow are like stupid, like
No, I'm against them because they are inherently evil across the board. There are no good Drow.
Yeah, but so can a player character be. Player character.
If you're playing, I had a drow in my evil campaign that I ran.
Yeah.
Well, but also the story that I've always heard with that is player begs to play drow. DM allows it. Drow murders everyone in their sleep. Oh, well, it's just what I do because I'm a drow.
See, I ran into something a little different that I've kind of mentioned is drow are supposed to have penalties when out in the sun and above ground. And I always were in games where somehow they got to keep their fairy fire and they got to keep their magic resistance. But
can I get some special glasses so I can see in the daylight?
Yeah, well, it was a mask for one, a hat for another, a ring for no, you have to play with the drawbacks. I do want to address one thing that came up before we get too far off. This is I'm in the camp of don't pay WotC any money at all for any reason. Fuck them. They've ruined all possible good grace, when it comes to this game. The flip side to that is I would actually accept if everyone only bought first, second, basic, whatever edition, TSR editions of the game, and that's it, and inundated them with money there because, you'd think that Hasbro at least would be like, this is the stuff that's selling. This is stuff that people want. Maybe we should promote this more. As long as there are no disclaimers. I'm not going to buy a book that has a fucking disclaimer in it. This wasn't right then, and it's not right now. Fuck you.
I don't think they put the disclaimers in the actual book. I think it's just on the Drive-Thru RPG page.
Well, it's for the PDFs. Anything print on demand.
Disclaimers are stupid.
Yeah. Is anything
right? No, but like I said, I thought it was. I didn't think they actually printed it. I thought it was just.
No,
let me check my 2 ebooks. So
it's all print on demand.
I know. I'm gonna get
what
he's find out.
What he's saying is he thought it was just on the website, not actually in the physical print book.
I've seen. To be fair, I haven't bought one, but I've seen them in the PDF version. Yeah, I have that. I have
on demand from. Yeah, that's from Drive-Thru RPG, and I don't think there's a disclaimer.
That came out before they added it. I don't know when you printed yours.
But I know I've seen it. I've seen it on the description on the site though.
So again, I have both those books that you guys are looking at. Believe it or not, it's the only ones I've got. But both of those were created before WotC did that.
No, I just bought this within the last 6 months.
The book was put out there. I don't think they're re-editing them.
Yeah,
like if you look at some of the supplements, they've gone in and changed the actual. It's on the first page. Somebody put it out on my Discord a few months ago.
What did you say, supplement?
What? Either way.
Whoa, missed that one.
Also, look at this Giga Chat.
Yeah, the art in that book is horrible, man. The original.
No, I love that art. That's awesome art.
You good?
So I'm perfectly okay with print on demand as an option. So this is like the argument I got with Palladium a little bit, where it's like, yeah, they're not going to do print on demand because they care about the quality of their books too much. I'm like, but sometimes we just want to have a PDF that we turn into a book for reference. And I think it's silly. Like, I get it. You want your quality. I'm with you on that. Have your quality. But sometimes I just want to go in and turn that PDF into a book.
I think the Palladium POD issue is stupid. They carry the books, so who just go buy the book. They keep everything in stock. The whole catch to like the D&D print on demand is they're not in stock. So yeah, print on demand.
I'm gonna take another nap.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Thanks again for popping in.
Bye,
We'll see you
Hunger.
in a little bit.
Okay, I want to see if Max catches fire if I hold this up.
No. I'm giving that away for my giveaway, right?
It's like the first physical D&D books I ever bought. I bought these in, what was it, North Carolina?
Such a great book.
Same.
I like third edition. I like 3.5.
3.5 was my first time
playing.
And
by the way, we didn't play with battle maps. It was all theater of the mind.
Yep.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
you could.
Yeah, it was. No, it was at a physical table. There was no maps. Nobody was fucking drawing a
Then you weren't
map.
playing. Then you weren't playing 3. You couldn't. You can't play it without it because you have to have 5-foot rules for attack of opportunity.
Bullshit. I played tons of Theater of the Mind with fucking 3.
Yeah, I played 5e theater of the mind.
Don't lie at my fucking show.
Yeah, you know what that all says, by the way? If you translate all of it, it says choke on it, round eye.
I'll lie. I have a small penis. See, I just lied. So
really, Bear, you're gonna make that comment after what you posted in your Discord?
What
Teasing.
that Chinese and Japanese writing can be taking the shit out of us stupid white people? Yes, I will make that joke. That joke was taught to me by a Chinese guy I used to do kung fu with when we were at a Chinese restaurant. And one of the guys said, "Hey, Siovi, what does this say on the chopstick?" And he really loudly yelled out, "It says choke on it, round eye." and we just died laughing because it was the funniest fucking thing we ever heard.
So I just want to say I bought this book in the hopes that my wife would play. I was highly mistaken. It was the only one I could find in Japanese.
Let's pour one out for all the partners who we've all thought would play and just looked at us like we were sad little fucking nerds.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
I'll bring it up here. Well, at least
Sadly,
Bear.
I'm
I know
saying-
Bear has heard what Kim's planning on running for us.
Yes, Kim's a goddess. We've all accepted this, sir.
Yeah.
This is the best
Max.
D&D.
My wife also does play and run, so
I
What?
believe you have a wife, sir. I believe you have a blow-up doll that you call Susan.
Yeah. I was gonna make that joke earlier, but I didn't get the chance. I was gonna say like I would get my wife, but there's no air in her right now. So
Oh, but Max, my wife
I call
is
her
planning on
Victoria,
running
and
the
she's
My
done.
Little Pony role playing game from Renegade.
I think Heath and Doug reviewed that one at one point just to get under my skin.
No, not that one, because the Renegade one is brand new.
Oh, it's okay.
But he might have been looking at the River Horse one. Anyway,
I don't know.
regardless, I am going to be playing in it. Not necessarily going to enjoy it, but I will play it.
I got a crazy idea. I want to propose this as an idea somewhere down the road.
Victor sells a book.
Well,
Victor
Victor doesn't sell a
sells a
book
book.
when it's streamed up.
supposedly,
Where we all boycott D&D for 6 months, completely clones everything, and we all play D6 and bring that back.
Star Wars D6. Hell yeah.
No, but just as the D6 as system, not just Star Wars, but just for anything. 'Cause you can do anything with that fucking system. Bring it back, make it popular, fucking blow Savage Worlds out of the fucking water. You know, like, god damn, I hate how fucking far down that game has fallen.
What do you mean by that?
It's not where it once was. Once upon a time, D6 was a game everyone loved. Now, go look at when you put a product up for D6 for sale. You might, sell 30 copies and you're done. No one cares.
I've heard people complain about D6. Now, to be fair, for me, the only time D6 worked and I really enjoyed it was coincidentally for the Star Wars D6 system. Because I'll even to this day argue, I'm not saying this is perfect, but I'm saying this is the way I feel about playing it, is that Star Wars D6 works perfectly for the original trilogy. But I actually believe, even though I don't like the system, that the D20 version works better for the Old Republic / the prequels. It just
I'm going to disagree because I've run both and it works really well. D6, I've run Star Trek with D6. I've run superheroes with D6. I've done what the fuck else? Fantasy with D6. It is the most adaptable system possible because it has the most basic fucking concept: assign a dice number and roll.
No, I get
D6 is
that.
very hackable.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
hackable.
I played West End Games Star Wars, and I played like a clone trooper, which isn't in the original books. That's just something that I made up, and it worked fine.
well,
D6 is awesome.
I will say, and not to toot Bear's horn, but I'm going to toot it anyway. Is that I've got a copy of his game Bastard Sword, and the way that it is set up is actually set up very well with 2d6. It works, and it actually makes sense.
Did I tell you how I've converted my game? We're at $215. Thank you very much. And I've got people angry with me about this. So my game is switched from a Palladium percentile dice and D20 for combat to being a 3d6 game. And it's working out for me, working out well. And all damage, and this is the one that gets people angry, and I'm not lying about this, but it is working. And if you saw the numbers and what I've been rolling, you'd understand that this is working. All damage is done in D4s, between 1 and 9d4 damage, depending on the power level of your weaponry. And people are like, I will never use D4s in the game. Well, then okay, but it's been working out absolutely wonderfully for what I want. Power level
missile.
A power level 9 weapon is like a tank cannon. A power level 1 weapon is like holding a mug, and everything between there it steps up. Now, how can you compare a tank cannon to a mug and only 9 dice? Low hit points, number 1, and number 2, exploding dice, baby. Exploding dice. When you have 9 D4s that explode, guess what? You pump out some numbers.
Yeah, that's true. So you
Ace
need a
of
whole bag of
Spades
D4s,
is
is
wrong.
what you're saying.
All the D4s.
You need 4 pounds of them to throw on the floor.
So it's like Shadowrun with the D6s.
Sorry, Bear.
Wait.
I
Why are
knew
we
that
getting
was
back
gonna
into
fucking
Warcraft?
happen.
See, Shadowrun never bothered. I know some people have some serious heartburn over 1st and 2nd edition Shadowrun. I loved it. I love those
same.
games.
Same.
Yeah, I hate
Also,
Shadowrun.
Cement mixer of dice. And
Is it
roll.
the game system or just the world? Because the world's like, eh.
The world's stupid, and I don't like the system. There you go. Hey,
And you're stupid.
I am.
No, come on.
Wow, I'm stupid. I want to play Shadowrun.
No,
Let's play Cyberpunk like a real man. Come on.
you Frankenhead.
See, I'm
That's what
literally
I
the
do.
opposite of this one. I love dice pools and I love exploding dice. So,
Yeah, I like both. I
wait,
like
does Star
everything.
Wars D6 explode dice? I know it's dice pools.
It's an optional rule.
Is it? Oh, is that one of the later, like the revised or the 2nd edition one? I know there used to be there's a wild die in like 2nd edition or something, but
Yeah, it's an optional later rule. It's interesting.
okay.
I like all sorts of
I
dice
wouldn't do it
systems.
personally.
That's what they call me, the tabletop pansexual.
Hey, I'm going to go AFK. Apparently, my wife's awake and we got to feed some cats. I will go AFK for a couple minutes. Also, I'm going to stretch because I've been sitting here for 6 hours. I might even pee. So now that the TMI is done, I'm going to let you guys run the stream for a moment and I will be back.
Okay, time for Victor and friends. And
No, that's gonna be a short fucking show with the ad friends as your panel.
yeah,
All right. So
Well,
how do we get
that's what people
Max
call it.
kicked off of YouTube? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Well, here's the issue: if we get Max kicked off YouTube, everybody else who's streaming gets kicked off too.
That's okay. We can all regroup on my channel. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Do another 12-hour live stream, right?
No, I got shit to do today. Sadly, I can't. Okay, so look, this went dead quiet. Let's all talk. Brian,
Bear.
explain to me the appeal and in autistic detail.
In
of
autistic
Shadowrun.
detail. I like it. I think it's just a fun concept. I think they so my understanding of the story is Cyberpunk beat them to the punch. They were literally working on a similar game, just humans, hackers, modern day setting, no big deal. So how do we make it different? And I think they picked up on something and made a reasonable postulation of what could happen. Now, there are some things I think are dumb, like the Native American nations. It's like, wait, I think they're dumb because it's like you have a minuscule population, but no, we're going to cause a complete rift and shattering of North America. I don't find very plausible.
Is Mr. Boivein's hand up your ass working your head right now?
That's called magic.
But the thing
magic.
is, well, even with magic, because you're then going to have non-Native Americans with magic, quote unquote, countering it. So I think it's a very weak premise.
Okay.
But in the end, it's like whatever. That's how they wrote it. Fine. That's how the setting went.
Okay.
I can accept it.
Here's
But
what I can't stand. I'll tell you right now. I don't give a fuck about the Native American thing, the ghost dance, all that. It's great. Love it. Beautiful. Fabulous. I love all the Pacific Northwest tribal symbolism they use. It's really neat. I lived out there. I've seen actual totem poles and all that good stuff. And I've worked with Squamish people, and it's really cool and it's neat and it's fun. People randomly turning into orcs and elves and dwarves was stupid as fuck. It was so dumb. It was like, why?
Because
There's been babies being born like that, and we shove the timeline 20 years down the road where they're now a massive part of society as these new people are being introduced. But to have people just randomly like, oh, I'm an elf. Like, it was so fucking like, I want to play Cyberpunk, but I want to play D&D too. Like, ugh.
I don't mind that. it implies magic gone like it wasn't like this gradual like nice thing that happened. Magic suddenly returned. Fucking shit went wrong. It almost was an apocalypse.
Suddenly returned was my other problem. It's a real world up until that point, but now something that never existed.
Well, no, it existed because it's fucking Max's game. What's
For the spoiler situation of this, I'm just being a dick to get them arguing. That's all.
It's Earthdawn. It's Earthdawn. You know, apparently we go to different ages, and we go from supernatural to normal to supernatural, blah blah blah. And now, Shadowrun is the concept of the normal, like the modern normal world, going back into a supernatural age. And I guess people maybe have fucking DNA from like 20,000 years ago, where like the orc ancestors, and now the orcs. I mean,
right.
I don't know also shit causes about Shadowrun.
It's also
but it has this word in it called sci-fi, John, and that's like that makes you break out in little British hives.
But if it's like babies
and
British
they grow up in the past,
if it's also babies and they grow up like that, it takes away like the whole upheaval aspect. It was supposed to be an upheaval.
And
it was supposed to be.
If you say so, okay.
Well, right, and my understanding of goblinization was either it would be a baby, or it would be somebody like at going through puberty. So as they are changing,
bullshit X-Men fanfic. Got it.
This
is being
no. Again, I think they did something.
Pull the strings.
I think they did something reasonable and plausible. I think they crafted a good mythology as to why it would occur with the Mayan long count calendar. I think it was. I don't know.
Wait, that's the problem. There's so many fucking sticks in that fire. It just looks like a mess. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel rational and reasonable, as you're saying. To me, it just feels like a mess of bullshit, And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised at all to find that a lot of the people that were involved in the creation of that really thought Wicca was cool back in that time period too. Because
they very well could have. It was the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
I'm kind of fine with it being a mess of bullshit, because that's the real world. Like, nothing fucking makes sense in the real world either. Like, when you look at world events and politics and all that stuff, it's all fucking random. It's all shit that fucking the normal people barely understand.
Passionate about fucking Shadowrun.
Yeah, I love Shadowrun.
You started it.
I'm not angry, but I want to say I'm not angry or anything. I'm just
no.
I'm just passionate.
Yeah, okay. Let's be honest. You are angry, but not on this particular topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. It's
no.
Like I said,
I just think it's a neat concept.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people like it. Like, it's actually kind of funny because I also have an additional bias. I'm friends with the line developer. Everybody knows that part. So, So
we can't trust your words now because you've been bought and paid for, haven't you?
Funny thing is, actually, you know what? I've bought all the books myself.
Yeah.
At
but
least
the PDF copy.
No, you're fine.
But the PDF copies you got.
No. Actually, the funny thing is, I bought most of the PDFs, but I've been hooked up with some of the physical copies. I won't lie.
By the way, Bear, I also love Cyberpunk. So yeah, I mean, I love both.
This is the only counterpoint I need to make to Shadowrun. It's right here. I just this. It speaks for itself in its amazing awesomeness.
Okay, Bear, what do you think?
This is the only futuristic game to play.
Yes!
I never got into Paranoia.
So, what was your question, Baron G?
You like Cyberpunk? What do you think of the new Cyberpunk Red?
It's shit. There's some good ideas in it, but it's shit.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same
flavor. If I was going to play
flavor.
Cyberpunk again, I would go back to my 2013 box set, grab my 2020 rule book, and grab my Cyberpunk Red, and then just cherry pick the rules to hodgepodge together sort of an ultimate Cyberpunk where you take the best from each edition, because it'll all work together.
When you talk all this Cyberpunk with colors after, it sounds like Pokemon to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Red box, blue box, gold box.
Pokemon.
Yeah, that's your D&D bullshit, sir. So there you go. It's all color-coded. Dragons are color-coded. A red dragon breathes fire, and a white dragon breathes ice.
Actually, real quick, Ye Old Geek, what do we call you?
British.
What?
No, do you use your name in these groups,
Bolton.
or do you just go by
You,
Yield?
you call me whatever you want because I'm British and I don't give a shit.
I'm trying to be polite
Don't
here.
call him late for tea, darling. That would be rude.
No.
I saw somebody lift up a Paranoia second edition book a moment ago. What was that about?
We
We're
were
talking about sci-fi, and
Because that is the best edition of Paranoia.
It is, yeah.
but Yale Geek, seriously, that was an honest question because I haven't interacted with you on stream at all, and so
You can call me Yog, Geek, Old Geek, or even John, which is my name.
John.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't
All
care.
right,
Oh
no,
my
so
god, I will get confused if you do that.
You can
I
call
call
me
you
anything
Max.
different. Call
You're
dinner.
Max. You're
Hello.
not John. You're Max.
Oh.
Sorry.
You're not people.
No, he's
You
people,
done
but he's
lost.
Max people.
You done lost your government name.
Oh, my government name.
Anyways, I forget what I was going to ask you, John. Never mind.
There's something about his name.
Yeah,
Well,
what
we
are
were talking
pronouns,
about,
Yog?
What
What are
about
your
what?
pronouns?
What are you?
Bull and
Oh my
what
God,
does it,
no,
what,
I don't
what does it
fucking
look?
care.
What does it
Stop.
look like they are? What does it
Your
look like?
and Highness. No, it's
Fucking you. They look like
Bolt
they're
and
feeding
Bolding.
you.
No, it's ye and old. That's
Ye
it.
and
That's the
old.
pronouns.
So, well,
By the way,
I am giving away. No, is it? No, I'm sorry. I was thinking a different game. Never mind. I'm not a fan
like
of Mongoose Publishing, and I think Mongoose
No.
Publishing needs to fall off the fucking planet.
See, and I really enjoy the first ed of because that's what the first edition I played of Traveler.
Like the
It
original
worked out.
classic Traveler.
Yes.
Okay.
Little black book.
And yep. And Mark Miller, lives like 45 minutes for me. So, I've had the opportunity to actually sit down and talk to him and everything else. Even he's just like, there's nothing I can really do because
And I went to the same school as Tolkien.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I grew up in the same state as Arneson.
I live in the same country as lots of people. What the fuck is
Yeah,
the point?
Yeah, he lives in the same country as Bovan. So I mean,
Tom Cruise is my
Look, not everyone's perfect. No,
Wow.
Fucking Brits.
but no, but there is that is my one purist type thing. I will only play the first edition of Traveler because the rest of them it's tough. Now there are current out there. There are some really good websites where you can do World Gin and stuff like that, which does save you a lot of time. That actually still works retro with first ed. So yeah.
I like Classic Traveler, but it's definitely a hard read. And I don't know. I also have
It's
the
an
Mongoose
engineer's
Traveler
read.
books. Yeah, I also have the Mongoose Traveler books, and it has like it's missing some stuff that I like from Classic Traveler, like the being able to die during character generation and stuff. But as like a simple like kind of like universal sci-fi game that you can just like grab and just like use for whatever you want to do, some Firefly shit, you want to do some like knockoff Star Trek or whatever, just grab Mongoose Traveler and you can go. I don't know. I think it's fine.
Star Trek's rough in Traveler because you got to deal with the whole tech level thing, right? And a lot of the stuff in Star Trek is like what, tech level 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really high level tech for Traveler, but it would make an amazing Dune game for sure.
Yeah.
Like, because it's kind of based on Dune. Like, let's be honest. Like, you can feel the roots and veins of Dune inside Traveler.
It's Dune. It's Space Vikings. It's like a bunch of stuff thrown together.
Okay.
Because they had to use the sword worlds.
Is that your best Saturday night ever? Space Vikings, Victor? Is that it? Like, you're like Space Vikings?
No.
Like, yeah.
Well, no. Well, I'm
Why is
actually serious.
everybody
Though.
giving him so much shit about this today out of all days?
For some reason, me being like gay is like a whole thing now. I never talk about it really.
Okay, has whined every
never,
time he's been
never,
on a live
never.
stream with mine about how people talk over top of him and all this kind of shit. So I give him all the room in the world, but then I got to ring his bell. Got to ring his bell.
I complained about it. I complained about it fucking once on your
Nope.
12-hour live stream because
Nope.
people literally were fucking talking over me while I was 3 sentences in. So fuck those guys.
That one time, and then there was the other time, and then there was the time here.
No,
and it was-
I rarely talk about people talking over me because it happens constantly. So if I fucking always talk about it, that's all I would talk about.
So if we're gonna talk about people talking over Victor, I'm gonna do it right now. So I have my my traveler book where before I got kicked off of Lulu, I combined all but these are the original. I combined them all into one book. I think I did a pretty good job on that cover. Most people can't tell that it's not the original font because it isn't. Obviously, they didn't do that. But anywho, this is a game I want to go through. I actually want to cover this game as far as, from cover to cover. I know a lot of people have done it. I still haven't read through this book ever, and I want to do that. And I'm thinking about doing it in 2024 if there's time, but we'll see. But this is the right way. To me, this is the right way to play Traveler because you can still get it. It's not Mongoose because Mongoose can suck a nut, and not in the good way.
Is it an onion nut?
Yeah, can suck an onion nut. There you go, dude. Come on, that wasn't awesome.
Dude,
that onion thing, that was funny as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pretty funny guy. I mean, sometimes. Occasionally.
All right, calm down.
Oh, hey, so Bear, question for you about Lower Decks.
What about it?
My wife stumbled upon us having apparently Paramount Plus free for a year. Is it worth watching? Because I know I'm not going to watch Discovery because I watched the first 2 seasons of that and really wish I could have those hours of my life back.
Before Brian jumps in and apologizes for it like he likes to do you love Star Trek, Max?
I like the original series and a little bit of Voyager.
Do you understand the heart of what Star Trek is?
Like to think so. I don't know.
Okay. The first season and a half of Lower Decks is going to piss you off because it's just fucking yaka yaka yaka, and it's just making stupid jokes and it's dumb. And then somewhere in the second season, I don't know what happened, if a new showrunner came in or they got some good writers who understood Star Trek, it actually starts to become a Star Trek show. It still has the jokes, it still has the stupidity, but it dials it back just enough that there's actually stories being told again that are Star Trek stories. And season 2.5 all the way to the end of the current season 4, quite enjoyable.
Okay.
So it's more like
so suffer through the first season and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
The main character, Beckett Mariner, is a tiresome fucking Mary Sue that everybody in the universe knows. If there's a famous fucking Star Trek character, they know her and think the world of her, and it's really obnoxious in that regard. But if you can get over that, there's some really good stuff going on there.
Max won't get over that. Let's be honest.
Well,
yeah,
I'll be back in 2 minutes again. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to give my spiel to Max and he leaves.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Bear gets to dominate the conversation again. Anyways,
yeah.
He's
got to dominate something sometime.
There's a question actually in chat for you.
What,
Bear? What are your thoughts on the Orville?
I really liked Orville in the first season when it was a comedy. And then in the second and third season, when it became Seth MacFarlane's I Wish I Was a TNG writer, and it felt like he was dusting off old TNG scripts, I was like, no, where's the funny? I want the funny
I
back.
still like second and third season, but it wasn't as good, that's for sure.
Third season felt like really shitty Trek fan fiction for me.
I liked when it was a good mix. It had like the silly humor, but then, it also had like some good stuff, some like TNG like vibes. But then they went too far into the TNG.
my favorite episode is still
Galaxy Quest. Sorry.
My favorite Orville episode is still the one with what are they called? The moccasins? Whatever the fuck they're called. Mocklins. Where at the end of it they're like, who the fuck are you guys to tell us how to run our society here that we've had for 1,000 years? No, we're not changing for you. And I was like, best episode ever, because that's how the reality of this would work out, is they'd be like, no, we're not changing just because you guys want this nonsense. And then what is it, next season they're like, we've decided to change our minds because this one person has just been so outspoken. And I was like, oh
yeah,
they probably got shit for that episode. So
they did. They absolutely did. LGBTQ people went after MacFarlane hard, especially since he's quote unquote supposed to be a left winger.
Okay, can we do something really, really fucked up? John,
let's talk about Doctor Who.
Wow.
Yo, Geek, I got bad news for you. Star Trek wouldn't fuck you with Victor's dick.
Yeah, Star Trek wouldn't be able to handle it.
All right. So real quick, so we can get off the topic, Max. My opinion on Lower Decks is actually not very far from Bears.
Okay.
Okay. Early episodes, not so great. It really does come into its own about halfway through season 2. And because I actually started with season 4 and then went back and watched everything.
Okay.
Mariner starts a bit of a Mary Sue. But even with what Bear says, where everybody seems to know her and everybody seems to love her, it's like these are people that are like captains and commanders, but she's an ensign, and they actually establish that she keeps getting busted down. So
yeah, okay. And also, she's best friends with Cito Jaxa, and she knows Tom Paris, and she knows Nick Lacerno, and she knows this person.
Is she in prison with Tom Paris?
And Quark knows her, and fucking the Sheer knows her, and everybody fucking knows her.
Now he's trying to get kicked off the stream.
Yeah, let's talk about Red Dwarf instead, then, I guess.
So, and anyways, to me, I look at the.
You better
whole
not say
show.
fuck Red Dwarf. I'm gonna fucking go across the channel, motherfucker.
I'll put you closer to him. Now you can physically reach him.
But Max, to me, I look at the show sort of like MASH. MASH is about the Korean War. The Korean War actually happened. They're dealing with serious things that happened during the Korean War, but then they're also interspersing jokes. You know, the Army intelligence officer. You know, whatever. So
but Eisenhower doesn't show up and be best friends with Hawkeye. Oh, and then fucking MacArthur's there, and him and Hawkeye are best buddies. And you know,
that's fair.
That would be hilarious, though.
Anyways, the show is good. It is funny. If you've like the downside is that you said you're a fan of original series and some Voyagers.
Actually, original series Enterprise, except for parts of first season and parts of Voyager. Really, before 7 of 9, I kind of liked Voyager. It was around that time that I stopped liking it. So.
Did you watch Deep Space Nine and Next Generation?
What's that?
Did you watch Deep Space Nine and Next Generation at least once?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah,
there's lots of little in jokes.
Never did it for me. I've never liked it. So
okay, but my point is, there's lots of in jokes. There's lots of in jokes. There's things that if like you recognize it, you'll be like, okay, that's actually pretty good.
Okay.
But anyways,
yeah. If it wasn't for Quark, I probably would have liked Deep Space Nine. But I fucking hate Quark and the jokey Ferengi. They should have stayed the original, the fucking impish ones. If they had done that, then I probably, I wouldn't.
Kind of impish.
I do like Armin Shimmerman as an actor, though.
Yeah. No, it's not the actor's fault. I don't like the way Ferengi are portrayed as these fucking clown shoes. Yeah.
I was a teenager.
They're so not, man. If you actually watch the show, the Ferengi are like the smartest fucking people in that show.
Look at the size of their brains.
I was a teenager when I watched Voyager, so I love 7 of 9. I had a 7 of 9 coffee mug, so yeah. I love those Borg titties.
What?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that
They're
we're
like
actually
metal
having a
on them.
stream for a charity, right? You know what that charity is? It's the Wounded Warrior
It's for
Project.
soldiers. You think that soldiers don't fucking think about 7 of 9 Borg titties? Come on, especially in those days.
That was her whole
The
reason
fuck,
for being there.
Just
I
because you're in the fucking gay Air Force.
I get this. The
Also, it's
whole
a
reason that she was, and that's the name here. The whole reason that she was there was to get the boob views. I understand that. I don't have a problem with her as a person or anything. I just thought that the whole storylines around her were stupid. It's when they try to ham fist like, no, everybody can change nonsense. Fuck that. She's a Borg. Kill her and move on. Don't understand the problem here. That'd be like Kirk all of a sudden like, oh, I'm sorry, Gorn. Were we supposed to be buddies here instead of beating each other up in Southern California? No, we're going to beat each other up because that's what the fuck we do.
That's exactly what happens in that episode. What's wrong with you? That's exactly what happens in Arena. They beat each other up, and then Kirk goes, no, we can't do this. I won't kill him for your pleasure to the Metrons, and finds peace. And then if you actually follow the canon of the world, the Gorns and the Federation become friends after that. The hell, Max? Come on.
Yeah, Max, step up your Star Trek game. Jeez.
I mean, I didn't go to the end.
If Radman was here, he would have put you in your place about his Trek knowledge.
I like 7 of 9. There was some good episodes, but I do agree that the episodes about like, oh, what does it mean to be human? They were better with the Doctor, with the hologram Doctor. Those were
No,
better.
what the fuck was it?
episodes
The
with him.
Captain Proton or the fuck that nonsense was?
Oh yeah,
It's
well
like,
that was Tom Paris shit.
Well, yeah, well,
Oh,
that was like, oh,
Voyager
this is an
shit.
episode where they didn't have a story. Okay, so let's. They didn't have anything for this week, so all right, great. So we can skip this one and wait till the next one.
Well, I've said this on PS stream, but I prefer Voyager over Deep Space Nine because they're actually exploring shit. They're exploring the unknown. They're literally in a part of the galaxy that nobody from
I agree with that.
our side has ever
I
been
generally
to. So,
liked Voyager, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
generally liked it. Deep Space Nine, I just didn't give a shit about. There's nothing interesting in it to me that made me go, wow, this is some good stuff. It wasn't horrible. I mean, Space Jesus at the end was kind of dumb, but
Well, but the
Yeah.
thing is with that is that season 1, he was a complete wuss. Then he shaved his head. Then he became the Samuel L. Jackson of Star Trek. I'm sorry. He became the badass that just destroyed everything.
I'll be honest, not the biggest fan. Like, I like Robert Picardo, not the biggest fan of the Doctor. Like, especially when they started making him like, hey, I'm going to start singing opera. I'm going to start taking up photography.
well, how about
I'm
when
gonna
he
start
started
doing-
playing Captain?
Yeah, right.
I
Oh
like
my
that
gosh.
shit.
What can we make the Doctor do this week? Well,
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina him. No, the worst episode is when they had that, oh my God, who's the fucking drug addict blonde guy? And they had him, oh my God, the actor's name. I can picture him now. I can't think of his name. Well, yeah, Andy Dick.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Good name.
That's like, really? Like, are you really this hurting for viewers at this moment in time that you have to have that weirdo on there?
I just like Monster of the Week shit, and Voyager had some really fun Monster of the Week stuff. I remember way more Monster of the Week stuff from that than I do DS9. DS9 to me always felt like it had a bit more of an overarching plot. It was about the Dominion War and all this shit, and yeah.
DS9. Hi, I'm the resident Star Trek idiot.
Are you?
DS9's entire point was to show you the part of the Federation that TNG and Voyager never showed.
Yeah,
you. Voyager, you get pissy when people talk over you. You calm your little windmill. Now, in Voyager, you get that when you get the episode Equinox 1 and 2, where you get to see the Starfleet crew that didn't have a good fucking time in the Delta Quadrant, and they reduced themselves to savagery to survive, pretty much. DS9 was about all your chickens coming home to roost. You run around the Alpha and Beta Quadrant, tutting everybody in your big fancy fucking luxury starships and telling cultures what to do, and you come from a culture where Captain Kirk used to kick in the door and go, "Your space god's a lie," and all that kind of fun stuff. There are consequences for that. And now, much like TNG, which people don't get that the Borg is the Federation, it's just another version of it, you meet the other version of the Federation, which is the Dominion. We're going to bring you all together under our fucking rule. Whereas the Federation's like, we all get together and we're all individuals. Isn't that great?
No, you're not.
Well, it doesn't work, right? So you learn all of those lessons in DS9, what Starfleet has to do to maintain the peace, the cost of the peace. Why? Because it was happening during the fucking Balkan Wars. And it was a big analogy for what was happening in Eastern Europe post-Soviet Union and people falling apart and NATO's responsibility being fucking neglected, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So it's analogy, which is when Star Trek is at its best, when Star Trek is talking about our current world, but from a point of view not of picking a side, but going, this is the shit that's going on, we need to look at it, which is why Discovery fails on every fucking level. It fails as a Star Trek show, it fails as an analogy, and it fails even as a moral message because it takes a side. Strange New Worlds is doing the same thing right now.
I was going to ask about that one.
Star Trek should never take a side. It should present the argument, and then you have to figure out how you feel about it. Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
I disagree, and I'm gonna make a reaction video. And
real quick though, and
Go ahead,
I
Bear.
don't know if Bear has made the point on this show. No. Hold on.
No,
Hold
look
on.
at Beal Geeks.
I don't know if he is actually. Yo Geek Bavon can hold on a second.
Yo Geek Bavon.
Mr. the old geek.
But no, Bear, what is your view of what the Star Trek universe is presented? What as do you see? How do you analyze
Star
it
Trek
out there?
always comes down to one word: hope. The entire
That's it.
point of Star Trek is it's about hope that humanity can do better than we are right now.
That's not where I was going. It
Oh,
was
okay.
He wants
It
your
was
he
the-
wants your 1,000-page thesis.
but he's made this point, and he makes it a lot better than what I can articulate at this point, because it's like,
Well, then tell him what you want him to say, and he'll reword it.
The TV of it,
Mhm.
how it show, it's not real life.
Oh, this is I was going to run Star Trek. I always said if I was going to run a new Star Trek game, which I'm not doing in the current one I run, I would set it in a world where all those shows you watched are TV. They're holovids. It's CSI. It's Law and Order. It's all the shit people watch. It's JAG. It's not really what's going on, but it's how it's presented to the common.
And it convinces you that people can do things like that. Like people really believe that CSI works.
Exactly. And there are really
Look, if you
stupid people
just
who think
use
that's what it is.
2 sets of hands on the same keyboard, you can hack faster.
Yeah, definitely.
No
I don't
one
get it.
No,
Yeah.
That's a CSI thing?
No, it's early
Oh.
NCIS where
Oh.
the nerd and the goth girl, like somebody's getting hacked, and so they both start typing on the same keyboard. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna stop the hacker," and it's just like, what?
Yeah, that's some really
You know what I
dumb
love
CSI
about those
episodes.
shows? Any of those shows, you always see them typing on their keyboards, but no one ever uses a mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, they're
Because-
also doing like
click,
fucking
click
forensics
isn't
in Armani suits. They're fucking
Yeah.
wearing Armani suits and like high heels and shit, and they're doing like forensics, and all they're wearing is like the little rubber gloves and nothing else.
you ever notice they go into the morgues and they never put on mercurochrome under
Yeah.
their noses? Never. They never put
Oh.
mercurochrome under their noses. Like, that stink is brutal, buddy. You need mercurochrome, you know?
Also, they have like mysterious, like in-depth knowledge about like every subject. They'll see like a paint chip, and it's like, oh, hey, that's a paint chip from like the Thunder 300 speedboat. Well, but that one was only made from 1991 to 1992. And I'm like, how the fuck does a random cop have like this fucking knowledge just off the top of his head, like
So now you
Wikipedia
understand that
knowledge?
in the Star Trek universe, that if I were to actually run one, that would be what the problem is that the original series, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Picard season 1 and 2 sucked, by the way, to answer your question. Picard season 3 was pretty good. All of those shows would be shows. What would the real Federation be like? Probably kind of like what the real America's like. Good,
Based.
bad,
Oh.
and indifferent. You know what I mean? Kind of like what the real European Union is like. Great
Not
idea.
based.
Lots of people yelling at each other, whatever the case may be. And then that would be more interesting to see. But at the same time, I would rather run that game where the crew played traders, merchants. So that way when they run into the Starfleet, it's not like, oh, Starfleet's here. It's like, oh, fuck, Starfleet's here. Oh, Jesus, now we're going to pay some permits. Okay,
Yeah.
hide that shit now before they get on here and start scanning everything. Like
So
that.
Firefly, basically.
A little bit, sure.
Yeah.
So, should we change topic to make the old geek feel a little better?
Yeah, Red Dwarf.
Let's talk about England and how great England once was.
I went there on a trip.
No, you went to England? I've never heard you say this before.
Really? Hey, tell us about that trip in 5 words or less.
It was great.
I've been to England. I had fish and chips.
Who says Americans can't count?
Well, no, I had to put the or less in there.
Mashed peas, which fucking disgusted me when I was a kid. I was like, "What the fuck is this exorcist shit?" That's
Why
making
would you
fun of me.
mash the peas? That's
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was like bright neon green, and I was like, "What the hell? What the hell is this bright green shit with my fries? Get away from me!"
They're not fries, they're chips.
Chips.
No,
They're fucking chips.
No, the frieten. The frieten.
Frieten, yeah, frieten. There you go.
Yeah.
Pomme frites, mon vieux. Pomme
all I
frites.
know
Oh,
is like,
patatten. It also works in Dutch.
somebody back in chat a long time ago was complaining about British food, and I'm sorry, the bangers and mash that I had while I was there was wonderful.
Yeah,
I do
Victor
like
had
a good
some
English
bangers and
breakfast.
mash when he went to UK too. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I think that means something different in the United States. I'm just saying.
I get that. It's sausage and mashed potatoes, but it was
Aren't they a
wonderful.
comedy
So not too
tribute to
different.
Lori and
Yeah.
someone, Bangers and Mash. Isn't that what that is?
I'm just saying, British food gets a lot of crap that it doesn't deserve.
Yeah, and then it gets a lot of crap it does deserve.
Yeah, we've got crap and we've got good stuff. It is a
The
simple-
best
like
stuff in
everywhere
British
the world.
cuisine is stolen, and you know it, just like the best stuff in the British Museum.
This originally existed in Egypt in 9.
We own it now. Come and get it if you dare.
You know, would he be saying that if America wasn't there to back him up? That's right.
I sure
went
hope
there.
so.
Well,
I went
well,
there.
See, people say that about the British Museum and like European museums in general. It's like, oh, you stole it. You should like return it to the original countries. But then you see how they treat that shit in the original countries.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
It just
no. Remember
disappears
when
on the black
Or
market.
do any of those original
do you remember
countries
when
exist?
ISIS was destroying
Yeah.
shit
Yep.
in the fucking Middle
Yeah.
East that was thousands
Yeah, the
of years old?
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
Taliban.
wow, why couldn't
yeah.
the British put that shit in a museum somewhere and kept
Yeah.
it around?
Because
for
it was a
fuck?
literal mountain.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
Not
that's
just-
true.
Yeah.
They were going into temples and smashing artifacts. They wasn't just
No,
one
I
thing.
was.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the
I'm
giant
gonna fucking
Buddha
fight
status.
you. I'm gonna fucking fight you.
Hey,
Yeah, they were
No.
finding rocket
Oh,
launches into
It's
statues.
it's
so,
not
yeah.
like that was a new endeavor. Look at the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
there's a lot of stories about why that burned. I heard one way it was the Romans. Like some people were accusing the Romans of actually being responsible for the burning of library. Hey, we're talking about Rome. Welcome to Men's Brains. But I read that. I read that the Romans were responsible for that.
Oh, well.
No, I'm sure it was the British.
I will admit,
It's the British.
my one.
As the British consider themselves the evolution of the Romans, you might be right.
I
We
will
did
admit,
it because the French wanted it.
I will admit, I do have one complaint about my time in London, and that was the fact that, like,
It rained.
the
Every day?
windows would no. Like, actually, we were there in the middle of a heat wave at the beginning of September, but they didn't open any windows.
Yeah.
There's no fans to move.
Welcome to
the air
Germany. Welcome to
around.
Europe.
Oh my gosh! It just open a window and turn a
Dude,
fan on
dude,
people.
that's
Seriously.
Europe.
I
Yeah,
have
no
a
AC
complaint
here.
about- I have a complaint about your time in London, but only if you stayed in London. Because if you only went to London, London is not Britain.
Oh no! It was most of our we had like 4 or 5 days in London. I went to Nottingham for a day because I had to go see Warhammer World and
That's fair
Mantic
enough.
games and that kind of stuff. And then we did a cruise up between England and Ireland. So I saw a lot.
good.
It wasn't just London.
And you notice the difference as soon as you left London that the world becomes more normal.
Yes. Oh, and I got to go to the Tank Museum. Tank Museum was awesome.
You leave London, but comes to Shire.
Belgium has a pretty good tank museum where they're actually restoring a lot of tanks out there. I got to see that for the 75th anniversary of the Normandy invasion. I also went on I forget what it's called, like the 28th Panzer Volk, whatever. It was the people that did the first push on the German side for the Battle of the Bulge, and so that obviously led to like Bastogne and places like that. And there's what do they take those old tanks and they're refurbishing them for purposes, and it looks freaking sweet, dude. I was playing World of Tanks at the time. I was like, hey, I know that one. Hey, I know that one. Hey, I know that one.
I got a picture next to a Tiger and a Tiger 2. Oh, those
I went to a
things are
big war
beasts.
museum over here, and it's like, oh, it's cool. It's like, oh yeah, like, oh, World War II uniforms. Like, oh, look, like a Sturmgewehr and like, some stuff. And then literally like 20 minutes before closing time, we notice the side entrance and we peek in, and it's just like a giant hall filled with tanks and artillery and like all this shit. I'm like, fuck. So we just had like 20 minutes to like quickly run through.
Was it a Dutch war museum?
Yeah, it was Dutch ones.
So it was a bombed out shell.
No, but
finest hour. No.
in front of it, like they actually have like this. They have it like sectioned off and stuff, but it's like they literally dug up like German graves and stuff like that. And there's like an actual like original like bombed out tank in front of it. It's like really cool. Like
Hey,
over here, like
you-
I have a metal detector. If I take a metal detector into the woods here, like I run into like empty
Mines?
shell casings.
Landmines and
No, like I run
unexploded
into like
ordnance.
I run into like empty shell casings, like grenade shrapnel, like all that stuff, like every like foot or so. Like we've had a lot of.
Hey,
fun
if any
over
of it's
here.
made out of copper, you could sell that.
Yeah.
Did you hear over here a few years ago? We found a very interesting war grave, Richard III.
Oh, wasn't it like underneath, like they were like digging up to like build a road or something, and they're like
underneath the car park.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, and it has been confirmed it was him. The
cool,
skeleton they found.
Why did they bury him under a road?
Oh, you know,
I wanted to do that with a straight face, but I figured that somebody would be like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
Look, sometimes you just piss off the peasants.
It confirmed though that all the rumors about did he have a curvature of the spine? Indeed, he did, and now we know what weapons were used to kill him and all that sort of stuff. They were able to work out what the wounds were on him. It looks like he took a halberd to the head. I thought that was really interesting when we found him. Anyway,
wonder who took him out. It might have been a level 1 fighter.
Because that's British.
Of course, you thought it was interesting. It was about you.
Yes. You're just jealous because we have history.
Yeah, we're jealous that history still hasn't moved on from us like they did you. I know, we're so jealous. When did rationing from World War II end? Last week? Is that when it happened?
1954.
Hey, I just want to so for the few folks out there who might not know. Bear is not American. Well, I mean, he's technically on the North American continent, but whatever. He's Canadian. So this isn't American talking shit to a Brit.
No,
we don't need to. We already know we're better.
We had the queen on our money, and we wish she'd leave. Come on.
Yeah, didn't she die? Why is she still on your money?
Yeah, she's dead. Yeah.
Did you really want King Charles on your fucking money?
Yeah, just be his
ears would go off the fucking bill.
It would just be his bloated hands, like, hello.
They wrap around to the back.
Dumbo.
Fucking gust of wind, his ears would catch it and fly your money away. Fuck.
It could always be Harry and Meghan.
They're a fucking treat, aren't they?
The whole Meghan thing. I kind of liked Harry because he was the one that wore the Nazi uniform and got yelled at. He's like, "Yeah, fuck you all, went to war."
Yeah, but then he went woke and just like,
we used to like.
Remember what you did?
Like Harry here. Harry used to be the most popular member of the royal family over here, and then
because he was kind of casual.
Happened.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
We all knew that she was a dumb bitch when she was here. So
he married a fucking LA gold digging actress, so of course he had to go all woke and progressive because that's what she was. So yeah,
she's a narcissist. She's a textbook narcissist.
She fucking made him fucking turn in his guns. Like he stopped hunting and like he got rid of all his guns and stuff just because of her. So yeah.
So just so folks know, in approximately 2 hours, Avenger is going to be here. And he's going to run a little scenario, and he's going to have us use his X card, his whatever those were, X cards. So just giving you a heads up, if you want to be part of that, you're welcome to be part of that. If you don't want to be part of that, well, you got 2 hours. So
yeah, I'll probably be. So I'm like increasingly getting a bit spicy. So
I'll be playing OSE by then. In fact, I'll be playing OSE in 30 minutes, and I need to get some food in a bit. So
I was just about to mention that.
Oh, so all of a sudden, I mentioned that one thing. Everybody's like, "Oh man, the ovens are."
Oh yeah, fuck! I have to go. Yeah, shit. I've got a doctor's appointment. Oh fuck, weird.
Max has to learn how to use those cards.
I'll be back.
So they're Chalt X cards, which actually you put out there because you want more Gonzo, or you want more. I forget what the other cards are.
Oh, Max loves Gonzo.
Oh, I it's the best thing ever. Hey, I played Banana Man next to Victor's Mukla, whatever the fuck that was called.
Ukla,
yeah. So, I can do Gonzo. It's just not something I would do long term. Remember, I'm the gamer that doesn't like to have fun. Yes. Everything has to be serious.
Yes,
and I'm okay with that. I don't like clown shoes in my games.
I liked that Ukla the Bok out because I didn't have to fucking talk. Like all my LP was like me going like, "Ah!" And I was like literally.
And I had to find out how to play a banana.
Yeah,
with legs.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me play Banana Man from the actual British cartoon Banana Man.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit. What about bananas in pajamas?
I don't know that one.
Bananas in pajamas. But I only know the fucking Dutch theme song, so. Banana in pyjama's, ze altijd met z'n twee. Bananen in pyjama's and something.
Wow, Victor.
Hang on, let's see how many people unsubscribe for me for that.
45. What?
Hey, hold on.
If they
Let's
haven't
see.
already, then I don't know.
Let's see how many people are donating. Hey, we don't have any more people donating, so let's fix that. Let's put a little link in the
Let's
chat.
talk more Star Trek. No.
Maybe we need to have some sad war stories for people to.
No, we don't need to do that because I've heard some of Bear's sad war stories from Bouncing, and no, they get equally darker as deeper we go down that hole.
I tell people, no one wants to believe me, and then we have the stories, and they go, ha ha. ha.
I'm gonna head off now because if I'm gonna survive 9 hours of playing games this afternoon, I do need some.
Well,
some
thank you for being here.
sustenance
Quickly
inside my
show out
belly.
your channel. Tell people where they can find you. Already in the description, so they should be able to find you there. But you know, what do you do? You've been playing some not Dungeon Keeper and.
I just do all sorts of nonsense on my channel. And what I don't do is I don't talk about Star Trek. So
He plays lots of sci-fi though.
Wow.
play no sci-fi whatsoever. None.
Much like
I
the
might
British
play some.
Empire, he's stuck in the past.
Though I do like Paranoia because it takes the piss, but that's and it's fun.
Much like the British, he loves dictatorial over governments.
Yes.
Mandatory.
Never-
Happiness is mandatory. It just doesn't have to be yours.
Are you clean? Are you clean as well?
I'm sorry,
Be
what?
clean. Cleanliness is a thing.
Oh,
in
yes,
Paranoia?
yes, absolutely. And passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know you Brits
Just
well.
remember-
Many of you come live in my fucking country for some reason.
I'll be visiting you
Oh,
next year.
because you like trees and open spaces. That's right. And we have those. Lots of
Yes.
them.
We do as well. We do as well. And I'll be visiting some of those next year, hopefully.
Hopefully you're coming for ClareCon next year.
Yes, that's the idea. That's the plan.
Now we just gotta figure out how we can get Victor, Brian, and Max here for it. Baron, whatever. Like, you know.
Oh wow!
Is this machine called an airplane? The Borders White. They invented it like I don't know, like 120 years ago or so. And
Do I have to wear a mask in Canada?
No.
Well,
But you should,
well,
given that face.
just
'cause
because
my
you're
dog
fucking
does
ugly,
you
but yeah.
that, you walk backwards.
Took you a while.
Scream mask.
If I'm forced to eat pizza or anything with cheese on it, then you'll wish you did wear a mask.
Good to know.
No Putin for you, sir.
Anyway, I'm off because I've got stuff to sort out.
I will
So
have a good
cheers
game,
all.
sir. Thank you for popping in, and you have a great one.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh god, it's crafty.
Wow. And then there were 5. Oh, Crafty Matt's here. Let's see if we can get him in and he can piss some people off.
That's not hard.
No,
He's
we're
probably on
trying
his way
to
to
get
work.
donations today, not piss people off. This is a
Right.
Wounded
Sorry,
Warrior
my
Project
apologies.
stream.
My
to sup-
apologies. Sorry.
yeah. Thank you. We want the income coming in. Again, don't super chat us. Go ahead and donate to the Wounded Warrior Project. It's in the description below. It's been floating around the bottom of the screen there if you want to type it in by hand. Also, I put the link out there on occasion. So
And hey, if you love Shadowrun and you've spent money on it, why don't you go give the same amount of money to something useful like this charity, as opposed to when you run
so
Shadowrun?
mean.
I was the first donator to the charity stream.
Yeah, he was.
No
And
one
he
liked
even
the
typed it
braggart.
first.
Oh,
Well, I
that's
never
what
s-
I should have put in the comment.
Should
Damn
have put
it.
first.
Well, I never spent money on Shadowrun, so I guess we should have looked back.
Well, the money you could have spent on Shadowrun should go to
Yeah.
the Wounded Warrior Project.
There's
That's
a
just
plot.
you don't like euros. You always complain when I give you euros, so don't fucking act like you want them now.
Well, you missed the spot. We had some spice earlier, a little bit, not too much. We're trying to be a little nicer today. Again, we want people to donate to the Wounded Warrior Project and realize that we're supportive of Wounded Warriors. But we did have what did we have spice? I don't even remember.
There's
Mr.
been a
Max.
couple of like mildly spicy things.
Oh,
but
we
nothing-
got off on Ben Shapiro and shit like that. And
Oh,
Mr.
Jesus,
Max got upset and he left like he does whenever it gets too political. And I love him for it. He just goes, you know what? I know it goes through his head. In his head, he's going, I'm about to say some shit that's going to piss some people off. So I'm going to go lift weights or chop wood or something. And that's what he fucking And I respect that. I respect that he does that.
And Victor talked about, onion balls or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, you guys brought it up. I just said they were smelly.
Onion balls. Well, hey,
Oh, dude, I hope
Crafty.
it goes well, Crafty.
Yeah, I hope that
Yeah.
absolutely that goes well because I know you said that she wasn't able to be transported. Max is nice. Not sure. Wait, what did I miss?
I
I'm
don't know.
confused.
Everyone still seems chipper.
Yeah, like wood chipper.
Oh.
So that's your buddy back there in the wood chipper.
If he's in a wood chipper, he probably deserved it.
I know it's a lot of work to put somebody in a wood chipper.
I was there's
A
only a
lot
few
of
things I think that deserve a wood chipper, and if he's in there, he should probably be there.
Hog farms are quicker.
Bug farms are quicker.
No, hog.
Hog, yeah.
Farm, dude.
Oh.
Although bug farms does sound science fictiony.
What about should we say gelatinous cube farms?
Look,
Okay,
I keep
listen, nerd.
no, I know where he. Look, my character is going to retire. I'm going to make a ranger who's going to somehow survive, and then he's going to retire as a gelatinous cube farmer because everybody needs a gelatinous cube to keep those under city sewer systems clean, and you're going to want to buy them from somebody that's reputable.
Hey,
I still think-
what's up, Eli?
I still think the character should be a gelatinous cube that is a farmer.
Join us.
Isn't that a anime or something?
What?
Yeah, slime, like something about slimes.
Max
Heath
the
Law covered
Slime
it.
Rancher.
Wow.
Look,
There you go.
A gelatinous rube. Oh, fuck.
There you go, Max. I just donated, so
Oh, yes, you did. Wow, thank you very much. The Dutch are even donating to American soldiers.
cheers to
thank
the
you.
boys.
Thank you very much. We are at $235 right now. Again, the goal is $1,000 by the end of the day. I remind folks that I only had a $250 goal last year, and we hit almost $1,300. So I think we can do $1,000. You know,
Well,
especially
and you had a 250 goal last year, and we're almost there.
yeah, we're almost to last year's goal.
I skipped breakfast for this shit. God,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. You're welcome.
I was
I
expecting
skipped
comedy
breakfast.
gold, Brian. What the fuck is this?
Wait,
Get
what?
Kim to write some jokes for you. I'm sure she's better at it.
Ooh, not necessarily. I mean, she can say some really funny things, but she has to not be thinking about it. If she's thinking about it, she's trying too hard.
Can
and
she hear you right now?
No, but I've said the same thing to her, so it's not like it's anything new.
I'm waiting
So-
for the stream where we're just going to see the frying pan come flying in through that thing.
Hey, at least now we know what the banging's about.
Look,
Boom.
my
Oh, it's
computer
like when your
is
cats are misbehaving and you bang on the table to try and scare them. That's what she's doing. She's banging pots at them.
no, my computer is in the living room. There's no wall between the living room and the kitchen. And if she comes down and she's finished working and she starts cooking, I'm not going to tell her to stop. I will probably miss hitting the mute button.